Good evening, everybody. Welcome in. We are continuing on, of course, with the ESL Challenger League European Division. If maybe you live under a rock and you're not quite sure what you're watching here, but we are continuing on with that. We are a few weeks in now. Things starting to get pretty interesting here in the group stages that have continued to change, right? The formats change pretty much every other season, it feels like, to try and, find that perfect one. But so far, this group system seems to be really working well. And I feel we have a fantastic matchup this evening as well. So very much looking forward to getting into it now, Kai.
Yeah, man, that should be spicy. This one's really interesting. You've got Monte, who, as in this conversation over the last few days, when you look towards, we'll throw it back a little bit towards the Paris Major. When you look towards kind of those tier 2 teams that made a really decent run, that really started to make a name for themselves, you look at kind of all the names in the fray, into Breach, Monte, Apex, etc. So Game League is another one. Monte seems to be the only one who stayed up at that top level, while the rest have all taken a little bit of a dip. Game Legion struggling to get out of groups. You've got Into Breach non-existent anymore, and Apex, who are in a lot of trouble, I think it's said to say, as their roster. But Monte still remained a very, very prevalent force within kind of the upper echelon of Counter-Strike, currently ranked 8th in the world. So you cannot sleep on this side. Not only the Kings are online, but also very good on LAN, as we saw back in the likes of Pro League, finishing joint third, fourth, kind of overall. So right now, Monte, I think it's safe to say, probably one of the favorites in the entire tournament, the way they are right now.
Oh, yeah.
They haven't got the easiest of matchup. They got FORZE coming in, and of course, with a new addition, Gokushima entering the fray. And he's someone who's been on my radar for a long, long time, an incredibly talented individual who really, really can light up the server. And it seems like since kind of the change over to CS2, he's only got better.
Yeah, he's definitely the big change that's come in. They've also snuck in a little change as well. Just worth noting that Stinix has moved down to the academy team, and then they brought Crad back in, who was sort of on the bench for a little while. So a couple changes for FORZE, some familiar faces, some newer faces as well. Very much looking forward to seeing what these guys are going to be capable of, right? A lot of praises being sung of Gokushima, and unfortunately Elian not quite living up to the hype that maybe he had a few years ago. It seems that he has taken a drop, as it were, so they definitely had to make a change. Let's have a little check-in with the groups, actually, because I think the groups really add to the story of this team as well, which I think will be very, very, very interesting. So as you can see, they're both over in the same group of A, right? We're a few weeks in now. We're sort of 4 games on average. Yeah, that seems to be the case across the board here, looking at the stats on the HLTV and everything. But Monte and FORZE, top end of Group A right now, aren't they? Monte, as yet, undefeated. There you go. Here are the standings for you. Meanwhile, FORZE not too far behind, suffering 1 loss. And that was actually against Space just a few weeks ago. So I think they will have bounced back from that loss for sure. But this matchup really, really important to solidify those teams, right? You make it through if you're in the top 2. So it's a little bit cutthroat in that sense, to be fair. So I think that this could be a pretty big game for FORZE in particular.
Yeah, if FORZE win this, they not lock themselves in, but they put them in a very good position, if I'm right in saying, to more or less qualify. I think a lot of the other results would come through, but they already have done enough to kind of pull away. I mean, Monte, I don't think there's really going to be any conversation about them not making out of this Group A, with them being flawless so far, and deservedly so. You can understand why. That loss to Team Space for FORZE was unfortunate, but in all fairness, give credit where credit's due. That Team Space team are very decent in their own regard. They're a new team in towards ECL. They're a new team on the block when it comes to kind of the online, kind of international scope of Counter-Strike. But they've been putting up some very decent results, to be fair to them. Of course, there's been some upsets along the way. You look towards a team like Bait, for example, who are an RMR level team. Unfortunately, find themselves 2 and 3 right now. And then, of course, the big one, Team Falcons, 0 and 5. Yeah, obviously, for Falcons, at the moment, the conversation is all about the potential, the probable changes that are going to come through for that team. Basically, everybody being changed, including the coach, bar Borosh. Let's take a look at some of the other groups as well to see kind of where everything panned out for them over towards Group B. Apex and Sinners both find themselves 3-0. Prodigies, the new boys to ECL 3-1, which is sick to see for those guys. Of course, I followed them from their first ever game. I was casting their first ever game at ESL Open when they were, just made, as to see what would happen. Even Jerome the owner of Prodigy Agency, was playing. They were known as Prodigies and a Boomer back then, and now they've gone on to bigger and better things, putting up some masterful performances. But arguably some upsets over in that group as well. You got a team like Sprout, who are very proficient in terms of their online Counter-Strike, wonderful, has been putting up some incredible performances, which has earned them that move to Na'Vi in the last few hours. But they found themselves 0-4, and Aurora 2-2. They're in the semi-finals of Roubaix at the moment, but they're still struggling to get out of groups here in ECL.
Yeah, it is surprising. It is very surprising, I think, with the way that ECL is panning out. Then we have Group C over here, of course. Another couple of new names in ECL itself, but also kind of on the block a little bit. Pompey you might recognize if you are really ear to the ground, but Rubik, a new kind of name over there that you would be forgiven for not being super familiar with, right? And obviously these two teams are struggling a little bit towards the bottom end, of course, but where it gets a bit more interesting is up towards the top for me. Saw not performing as well as you might expect. They've been an ECL stalwart for a long time. A number of top place finishes as well from them, so top 4 finishes and everything, right? So I think that it is a bit of a surprise to see them struggling somewhat. Team Spirit, meanwhile, super clean at the top end. Maybe to be expected, right? We've got Donk performing well. We've got Sontix performing really well. They just look great in CS2 at the moment on the Spirit side of things. Meanwhile, Group D, 1 win. Not quite sure what's going on with Boomich, but for the most part, these guys look fantastic. And again, better at Esports, Ikla, Orcs, these are all very new names. And it is intriguing to see how they're performing across the course of the season.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, a credit Overtour's 1 win. They've been going through a couple of roster changes themselves. Boomich is standing in for a variety of different teams, of course, most recently Cloud9. Here, there, and everywhere. Of course, he was standing in for the recently departed Shiro. But 1 win still putting up very decent results. And then arguably Group D has another one of those kind of slightly surprising results, and the fact that Movistar are 1-3. Movistar, as we know, a very good team, kind of a pro league level team, you know what I mean? But they are struggling to even get in towards the potential for pro league qualification through the Challenger League itself. But Movistar, they've always got it through those Challenger tournaments, the lands. That's where they do their best work. So we're probably going to assume they'll make it at some point rather than another. They always seem to creep their way in towards pro league, nonetheless. But the groups right now, as we've seen, there's a lot of new kind of fresh faces in terms of the teams, and of course the players individually that essentially kind of feel like the future of CS2 right now, with all kind of everything being up in the air in CS2. It's a very exciting time in terms of ECL, right? It's the first season on CS2, and of course we're going to have the first season of Pro League at the start of next year, so all going to come down to that. Let's take a look at the veto of how this game specifically is going to pan out with Monte and FORZE. Of course, they have a pretty overlapping kind of veto as things go. The map pools are very similar, so we're going to kickstart things over towards Nuke for FORZE. Anubis will be on map number 2, and if we need it, our decider will be that of Mirage, which I think is a pretty fair one, all things considered.
Yeah, so kind of looking at this, right, I think that the Vertigo gets banned away from Monte, which is maybe a favorite of theirs at the moment, but obviously Anubis, they have just been the masters of it for such a long time. I would say since it came out, right, that was where they started to make a name for themselves tier 2-wise when they still had Boros and everything. They were really farming on that map for a while. So I think they'll obviously be very happy. FORZE, no pushovers on it, but it's towards the bottom end of their map pool. Nuke, meanwhile, that's where I do worry a little bit. I think Monte, again, it's maybe towards the bottom end, but they are still pretty confident on it. This is also a new look FORZE that really could struggle, and you know it's a map that Monte have got experience on LAN from IEM Sydney.
Yeah,
they came a little bit close against FaZe in Thunderpick just a couple of days ago, so they're working on it. They're ready for it. So very much worried in that sense for FORZE if they can't put their best foot forward on Nuke, and it will be our first map out of the gate as well. All the same, folks, we've talked enough there. I think plenty to go over, all the groups and everything, but we've got the matchup coming your way after a short break. Make sure you stick around. Monte and FORZE coming up soon.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Thank you very much for your patience. We are indeed into the action. Nuke, our first map. We had just left off of the break there saying that we were perhaps a little tentative about this map just because Monte, they've got some decent experience on it recently, and it is a map that they like to play. And then the big thing is that that second map of Anubis feels like it should be unlosable for Monte. FORZE going to have to really step up here, and not a bad way to kick things off. Two very fast frags will net them in towards this A-bomb site. There is now a lack of defense over here. It is a snake on the way from Monte. They've actually dropped down towards B to just continue to add to the confusion. Looking good on the man advantage.
It's the old cinnamon swirl strategy. Just basically going everywhere. We're going to find one of his own. Gokashima, the new boy on the block. Not a great start, though. 0-1. He finds himself in the pistol. This retake technically on. Versus 3. First fight being taken by Crad. He will forward the round to MQ.
Big. It is big. Oh, looking good for Result, though. He's in the right position at the right time to find the final 2 heads. Lovely stuff to finish it off. That was a little dicey for a moment, right? The CTs did a decent job, I think, of coming back in, finding a few nice headshots on the retake, but maybe just too steep of a hill to climb from the word go. So FORZE starting off very well. I think they'll be in a great position now. What is the move from Monte? It seems like they are going to force, which is kind of a rarity. Not a lot of teams doing this.
I don't know if I'm a huge fan of it. You know, I wasn't really into Go, but especially in CS2, and these are kind of MR13, MR12 kind of times we find ourselves in. It is risky. It's so risky. You lose this, not only then FORZE go 2-0 up, they basically get gifted a third for free. Look at the space they've got already. Result's going to find the opener, them cutting for the trade. Down towards B, they've got all this room to work with, and the bomb will get planted for free.
Yep, easily done. Probably just save what you have, to be honest, if you are Monte, right? You've got Bro, you've got SDY. Sticking around, but not necessarily committing into a fight. Oh, okay, here we go. A few kills come in the way of that CT side, always good. Do some damage, drop some rifles in particular. And they're actually thinking about giving it a bit of a go, to be honest, which is not an awful call. The time is just starting to get away from them. I don't think they have a kit available, unfortunately, but the amount of damage that they have done here is pretty substantial. I think they will be very, very happy with that, leaving only 1 FORZE player remaining. So a lot of pressure on the FORZE economy because of that round.
I think all things considered, you can take a somewhat silver lining away from that. But the main thing is, though, FORZE now got 2-0 up. They know that Monte can't reforce in towards next round. If they did, it wouldn't be able to bring anything miraculous to the round. So FORZE understand they've got a prime opportunity to potentially, I was going to say, go 3-0 up without any sort of competition. But Waro dropped over his scout, then picked up an M4. So he is still force buying in here. It's quite risky. The big thing being, if he does fall, they basically got to try as best they can to save a scout tag on towards Crab. But Spire takes a chunk of damage himself. Waro will find the first through the smoke.
I like it. I like it. Bit of aggression, bit of confidence, you know? You never know how far it might take you. M4 does go down. Felt like a few of those bullets were awfully close from Waro, but unfortunately not. No one around to recover that M4 is the sad thing. SDY on somewhat of a crack angle. They'll run boost over so that there is a nice easy peek for Result, but he's not holding out in the open, right? He's playing it a bit smart, making sure not to give his life away. FORZE, you can see, kind of nervous, aren't they? They don't really know what they're up against now that an M4 was in the mix. Very confused, I think, and, well, the confusion is working out quite well, trying to overwhelm them outside here. It works for one, but it does not hold the line. A lot of damage done. Scout could be deadly if it finds the right shots, but the round itself looks pretty good for FORZE there. Smart, moving down towards B.
Tag and bag, right? It's actually kind of working. I think, realistically, if you're Monte in this position, you have to give this a go. You know you've done a little bit of damage. You know as well, you're going to buy towards an extra. God, Demka's going to find Gokashima. That's not an AK to work with on a retake, and actually a very doable retake. Just dicey. That's the fault is SDY, but he's just cannon fodder. He's bait. Demka's on 1 versus 1.
Very quickly. Very, very quickly. I don't think we really expected it to get this close. He gives his position away, makes a lot of noise. Going to shoot the glass here as well. It's a nice Molotov. Oh, he's going to know that Tinner is down there. However, a quick reposition coming in from the T player. Somehow still alive. Another opportunity to try and find the head himself. But DemQ is looking good here, putting the pressure on, closing the gap and taking him down. 14 HP makes the difference. Oh, he couldn't find the bomb though now. He couldn't find the bomb. He went to the default spot and it wasn't there. The 10-second timer goes past and he's fluffed the round.
We might not survive here. Yeah.
Wow.
That extended bomb radius is brutal, to say the least. You take about, I think, off the top of my head, about 24, 25 points of damage over in that back corner secret. It's a good attempt by Monte, considering what they brought to the table. Actually, very unfortunate not to walk away with the round. FORZE going to start things off 3-0. But these last couple of rounds have been extremely expensive. One surviving, then none surviving. You can kind of understand why FORZE are going to go in for a pause there. They need a little conversation. These rounds are a lot harder than they should be, considering the weaponry of what Monte are bringing to the table. That was one rifle, one scan, a few pistols. They very, very nearly won the round. If you had a kit, if you got on the bomb immediately, if you'd been able to spot it as he was dropping off railings, yeah, it would have been a different story. But benefit of hindsight, we know that's not the case. 3-0. Now Monte into a buy. M4s across the board. A good chunk of util. Even for the likes of FORZE, yes, they can full buy in, but it is actually the best. They got double Galil to speak of in the hands of Crad and Assault. He's going to make it slightly harder.
All right, let's see here. Obviously had a bit of time in between rounds to really work this one over. Monte wanting to make their presence known. They were so damn close in the previous, but it's a tough one. Flashes come round. Bro pushed down quite aggressively, actually. Not going to stick around at all. So a lot of space for FORZE, just off the back of one flash.
It's quite nice, actually, because now they can just start to play the mind games against Monte. I think Monte, for them, have to fall back towards side. They have to be so wary of kind of a flank coming through in towards Hell, or, of course, what is the most standard thing is committing down towards B. Bro doubles away over towards window. That would have been heard. You're going to come through as well. So now all the commitment being made here. Gokashima leading the charge out on towards B.
Sure, making their way forwards. It's Crad on the backside, though, that catches a couple of the rotators. Really going to make a difference into this post plant. Awkward little spray down. Bro can't get it done with the USP. That should be that. The last two CTs too far away from the action. So FORZE looking damn solid in this round. That is for sure a great response after the mess up of the previous. And
considering this one's against a full buy as well, it actually means all the more. Really well done. Really nicely played. It's quite simple in what their kind of their play style. It was a call out of spawn, right? Let's just take ramp. Let's see what we can do once we've got that top ramp control, and all things go well. Tonight, he will survive from here. He has just about enough HP to speak of.
Terrorists win.
But yeah, when we look at it, 4-0. Monte, thankfully, gets lost bonus, allows them to buy back in, and of course, 2 remaining alive means they can drop over. I wouldn't mind Monte going into a pause at some point, bringing in kind of LMBT in towards the conversation. Definitely is a much shakier CT side than we probably would have expected, but you can also understand why FORZE are picked in towards this map now. They look very, very solid.
Maybe a map that they've been able to work on really quick, right? Since adding in these new parts. Beautiful double nade. Not a frag, but certainly close enough. And with all that A presence, they have drawn some attention away. Crad has managed to get down below here. SDY ready, but loses the fight. There it is. That famous, maybe infamous Pika's advantage really helping him out there, I would imagine.
All good. Attack quite off the back of it as well. Opening kill. FORZE now. Just call a freeze. Damage being dealt towards Krasner as well. So now both Warrow and Krasner are low. Bro has to win up this fight on towards Dinner. Here's the steps falling away. Flashing towards the corner. He's trying to find fights the best he can. With Demka falling, Bro's now the only one with HP left alive.
Here we go. Into the back of the site. Easy take. That'll be that, Bro. Yeah. Up the ladder and then back down the ladder. Nothing he can really do from there. Just try and stay alive now. Crad goes down. Oh, kind of confirms his position. I don't know if... I'm a big fan of moving in towards CT. What else are you going to do? I guess, but like... Surely this is the first place they look.
Yeah, he's going to be hunted there, surely. I think if you are FORZE, it's worthwhile going for a hunt, just making sure they have nothing to speak of in towards the round next. But it does look like they're playing this a little bit more passive than I maybe expect. I don't know whether they were hoping kind of Bro would continue to fight on his way out. Isn't to be. FORZE 5-0. I don't think we really expected this level of a dominant start. Yes, it is FORZE's map pick. This is the T side of Nuke after all. They're looking really, really solid. This is the perfect start for the FORZE side. Not only in the sense that they're 5-0 up, but they're just looking dominant. Monte aren't really scratching the surface right now in the server. It is starting to have a pretty negative effect overall. Both of these two sides have played Nuke 9 times in the last 2 months. Of course, quite a few of the officials would have been back on Go. FORZE hold ever so slightly a better win rate, but like you said, coming in towards this series and coming in towards this map specifically, it's not a bad map for Monte. They like playing it. They're happy to play it. And one of those maps that actually get a bit of a go-to float for them. So far, so successful. Gokushima in towards his favorite AWP. Granted, quite difficult on CS2 the AWP, but this guy could make it work. Like that.
Oh, lovely. Great opener. Yeah, and I think it's going to make life very difficult for Monte, isn't it? The fact that they've worked around a little bit of a buy. I suppose they will be able to buy into the next, right? They're on the max loss bonus now. Nice read here from Result. Oh, finds one. I thought he was going to go down there. That was such an awkward fight for him, but he manages to find a frag. What is going on here? SDY gifted a kill. Gokushima around the corner with the AWP. It's the next to fall. The Mag 7 is doing it all here. Man advantage secured. Bomb secured as well. What more can the demon down below get done? Oh my goodness. They are so scared to go around that corner right now, and the bomb just spills into the perfect spot. Crossfire setup. Round secured. Shalfie all alone, and he will be flanked out easily. What a hold from the Mag 7.
Of all the rounds for them to take, I think it's safe to say we didn't expect it to be that one. A Mag 7 doing God's work down below. So now, Monte, a lifeline extended a little bit. Of course, upgrades to be collected too. Waro for the AWP to speak of, the corpse of Gokushima, and of course, a decent amount of AKs collected. Isn't bad for Monte. 2 AKs, 2 M4s, and the AWP, and a whole host of util. Monte prime pole position. Find a second and start a little bit of a run of form for them. FORZE hoping to answer back, and Rest already got a lot of space.
Looking good. Waro, MQ gonna hold. Thought they got in quickly, but this time around the guns are looking very good from Monte, right? This is something that they have lacked, the ability to fight back, but with winning that one round, it looks like they have refound their confidence. This is great.
It is. It's good work. Just go a little bit quiet off the initial points of contact. FORZE now left scratching their heads a little bit. How do we find our way back into this? I don't know whether they're going to be given that luxury. Shalfie 0-5 so far. One of the more prominent players on this team. Unfortunately, struggling early in towards this game.
Run boost. No one. So it's all good. They make it across. Not completely scot-free though. They have been slightly noticed, so there might be some presence down below in just a moment here. Picking up the pace, feeling confident towards this B bomb site though, despite only being now down to 2. Taking their time, but making an awful lot of noise. Gokushima goes in fast, getting this bomb plant. They are really aggressive considering the fact that there's not a lot of presence, not a lot of manpower at this point. Dink landing onto Gokushima, surely going to solidify the fact here. Crad has to go massive. He's trying to take a bit of an off angle. Oh my goodness, 2 quick headshots from Crad. Has opened us back up. They needed one more player to help out, and they might have been able to get that done, but goodness, for a moment, we all believed.
Closer than they probably would have hoped for. Kit to speak of, so of course they can go looking for upgrading the weaponry, but with an open AK, you really can't get too much better. Nice second on the board from Monte. Nice start to Resurgence. Honestly, start is only 2 in a row, but better than nothing. Question, of course, now from over towards FORZE. They don't really have the funds to work with. So a half buy is the decision. Dokushima going to keep the bulk of his funds. So, of course, he can have the AWP in towards the round next. This is a bit of a freebie, bit of a throwaway. Should be a relatively simple third on the board. But you always have to leave a little caveat. These pistols sometimes are pretty deadly in CS2, man.
Yes, very true. Very, very true. Again, with the sort of aggressive swings that you're able to take. Warrior going to open. I think they are acutely aware of the presence down below. Krasnal with an easy hold. Any more for him? Perhaps. Yeah, looking good here. He actually gets a double spray down there. So 3 kills in total for Krasnal from the lower stairs. Very well held, very well done. Monte starting to close this gap.
We're getting a little bit closer than initially anticipated, especially with how well FORZE had started. Of course, that was a little bit of a throwaway round. We don't really expect all too much from that one specifically. What AK 1M4 is all they got to work with. Even though Gokushima, you'd go for a lesser buy. That's how he over-invested. It doesn't give him the ability to go in towards the AWP. Hoping for maybe at least a bomb plant towards the round prior. That would have funded that orb. Breaking the smoke. SDY spots nothing behind it, but spot the jump peak coming through. Gokushima falls trade from Xiaofi as Tinner gonna add one to the tally.
Result. Good position for him here. Or if he just waited a second longer, he might have had the drop on Bro. Solidify the round. Still, he feels like he's in a very good spot, especially if the boys can make it down secret cleanly, which we know they will. Might even be a look to save once this bomb goes down, to be honest.
Bomb has been planted.
Tinner holding secret. Yeah, I don't really know how they pull off this retake with the outside control and the ramp control. Like, where do you go? Down the vent? But that makes a lot of noise, really. So just a save angle.
I don't blame him. In a way, I think that's probably, probably the right call. Nearly gets made a little bit more expensive. Might still do so, because Crad is sticking around. Bro will fall. Of course, he will fall away just to make sure that he stays alive. Warrow keeps the AWP alive. That's priority number 1 in that save. It's going to be FORZE back into the winning ways. Of course, FORZE on the T side of Nuke, guaranteeing that at the bare minimum it's a tied game at the half. I think you can take a lot of silver linings away from that kind of statistic specifically. This is a really nice start from FORZE. They're looking like a solid side. They're just playing confident. And that's all that's required for them to put Monte back into place. They're essentially fighting fire with fire. This has been kind of the bread and butter of Monte. This quite chaotic play style, relying on individuals who are crisp as they come. It's obviously working absolute wonders right now.
A lot of noise in the early stages of round number 10. Really not a lot of movement, though, is the big thing. Not a lot of space being taken. No frags as yet. Just in the lobby. FORZE trying to spam away, I think, and set up for the moves later on into the round. Little flash on towards A there for a cheeky peek, but again, nothing presenting. Really, really important round in terms of the swing of this half, it feels like.
It's going quiet off the initial space created too. I think for FORZE, they realize don't need to do anything too drastic right now. Waiting for a bit of util. Nothing being offered up. Double stacking towards deep A here. Crossfire is very solid indeed. Not come in just yet, but it looks like they want to finish A.
SDY. Pretty good angle for him here as the smoke starts to go down. Oh, look at the damage that he's doing. He's unable to find the kills, but so much damage coming in. Will lose his head eventually, though. Is it enough? We'll find out. The Nay finishes off Result. In come the rifles here from the CT side as well, and they will mow them all down. Goodness me. Looked good for FORZE, but they just couldn't get into the bomb site, right? They found a kill. They found some damage of their own, but they just couldn't get the space that they so desperately needed.
Man. FORZE arguably playing a little bit too slow in that round. They're letting, I guess, Monte dictate the tempo of that round. And of course, with all the space that they had created already early, FORZE were forced into a bit of a pincer. They wanted to finish over towards A, but they just get brutalized when they head in that direction. Speaking of brutal, that's the consideration when you look towards the buy. Double Galil and another great start. Shalfie down, a result to follow suit. Shalfie continues to have a rough game. 1-9 to start off Nuke.
Solid stuff here. Gokushima find another kill in this round. The first one for FORZE, of course. What can they really do with it, though, right? They've lost so much control and presence in the early stages that it's going to be difficult to recover this one back. Bro with the perfect angle down below. Loses the next fight with a crossfire. Set up, DemQ. Yeah, lovely. Just recognizes. Stay alive. Keep the control of the site. Keep that information. Gokushima, though, with a quick move up. Gonna fake things out. Not sure whether he needed to. A little panicky from him, perhaps, and Krasnal will take him down in the end.
It's a nice idea. He was assuming there was somebody close. They'd only heard information of 2 down towards B. He was just looking for that third player. Little did he know it actually rotated all the way through lobby and towards ramp. He was actually too far away to even take a fight. While the idea is nice, unfortunately, the execution not so much. Having that bomb plan actually would have been very beneficial over towards FORZE heading in towards this final round of half. Just in the consideration that they don't really have anything to work with. 1 AK, 1 Scout, and a couple of pistols. It's a buy that scrapes together off the back of a low economic situation for FORZE. Monte, good opportunity for them to go 6-all at the half, which, with how they started, going 5-0 down, they take that all day.
Very, very slow here. Oh, lovely nade and a lovely finish by Waro. There's some of that CS2 goodness coming into play. Fantastic opener. And now a difficult spot for FORZE, isn't it? Very, very low buy. Not really sure of where to go from here. Bro standing his ground, and much to his fault, he will go down. There is this ult round the corner in the form of SDY. Does well to find one, but has to give up the position ultimately. Still, down below, Krasnal has presence. This looks dangerous. Could find a couple here. Gonna get the first, gonna get the second. And Gokushima with an insurmountable task as he gets taken down. 6-6 in the end. Fantastic recovery from Monte. We'll see if they can continue that into the second half. All right, we're back in. We are back in. A fantastic recovery there from Monte. It really has to be said. 1 round from FORZE in 7. So very well held, very well recovered, because it was looking like FORZE were going to take over the half. Speaking of taking over, SDY is not playing any games into this pistol as he finds the first head with that P250. Loses his own, though, to Gokushima, the new blood on the server. Trying to make his name known. Close to finding another, but not quite able to get it over the line. 4 versus 4 then, with the B bomb site looking vulnerable.
There's to work with. Oh, Crab sticking around to try and find a couple of headies. Struggling to do so, and Waro and Krasnal will combine. Tina, he's answering back, but this retake's going to be very difficult. And Demka just taking a little bit of attention with that Glock on burst fire.
A little bit weird here, isn't it? Some of the fights that are going on. Demku wins his, but his teammate loses out. Bit of pre-fire in, but oh, no heads found. The old tit for tat back and forth here between these two players. Tina down to 1 HP. Or does Demku know that he hit him? It looks like he does. He's trying to close the gap to find the frag, and he will. The lead snatched away by Monte.
Well played as well. Does he get the bomb off? He does. So a little bit of extra money in those pockets. Not a bad position to be in at all. Monte, once again, we have to recall off the back of going 0-5 down. Now find themselves 7-6. In terms of recovery, in terms of a run of form, it doesn't really get much better than this. And to kick out that T-side pistol around that effectively is really, really good. We are going to see FORZE go for a force buy of their own. Again, this feels like such a risk. We saw how it affected Monte so negatively when they went for it. Feels like FORZE have learned their lesson. 1 rifle to speak of in the hands of Shalfie, the man who has been so quiet so far this game. Thankfully, finding his 2nd kill here, round number 14.
Result forced off the top of the hut. Not much to do down here with the 5-7. Demku trying to get that first head, but oh god, to be careful. Dink lands. It's minimal damage, thank goodness, but still enough to send a shock to the system.
Demka respecting the smoke here. Shalfie might not, though. Waiting for something to offer up, but again, nothing really on the cards here. Shalfie misses his opportunity. Gokushima shadow spotted too. Against the scout, can't quite connect. In towards the M4. This is looking doable for FORZE.
That was maybe the big frag that could make a difference here. Oh, hold the phone though. The trades are good. Trades are very good. Out in the open, Waro is left, and yeah, not a chance there, right? 2 peeking at the same time. Nothing he could do. FORZE in with the force buy win. And no bomb plant for Monte means they are really up the creek right now. Look at where the cash is, or rather isn't. So they have a lot of work cut out. A lot of work.
Gotta be said, 9 times out of 10, that force buy is rough. We saw exactly what happened when Monte went for it in the round prior. FORZE finding, however, flips the conversation entirely. Now I look towards Monte. They have to go for a force of their own. That's just an absolute kind of age-old standard. FORZE, much better firepower to speak of. Double MP9, but against these pistols, especially with the lack of head armor on 3 out of 5, makes it all the more prevalent. Teammate comes through. Waro takes a tag. Outside control given up here, though. Shelby sticks around with the M4. And that's why. Oh, but he gets his head ripped off by Demka.
Alrighty. They are biting back on the Monte side of things, showing that they can also get it done with the pistols. So yeah, I think FORZE backing off, playing safe, being careful themselves. We're in for a pretty tense second half, the way that it has been so close already. Bro, with the double kill, okay. I thought he was out here for a trade, but he finds a bang bang, a left-right good night, and they are back in the round. Waro, lovely judgment here. Knows there's probably a player out towards heaven. Maybe he spotted the backside of him at some point. Can't quite see him, but also can't go up the ladder. 35 seconds left. They've got to make a move soon.
2 versus 2. Bomb plant needed, but bomb dropped, of course, as you mentioned. Does make this so rough. Double swinging towards heaven seems to be the plan, though. Craddock in, Craddock where? Will he find the frags? The answer is yes for the first and for the second. So, a little bit more expensive than they would have hoped. Maybe a little bit closer than they would have expected to, but all things considered, FORZE will reclaim a lead. Made to work for it. Finding it nonetheless, that's all that matters now. Monte, no funds to speak of. FORZE should pull away by 2.
Scary. Very scary indeed. 4 nades and a deagle, but mainly 4 nades here for Monte. Where are these going? Where are these going? Ooh, all towards Mini. Nobody there, unfortunately. It's a lovely idea. You know, get the door blasted open, get the triple nade airstrike, but there was no one there. So just unlucky in the end. Not really expecting too much out from this round now then. As you said, FORZE gonna stretch ahead by a couple of rounds.
Yeah, what now, right? I feel like if you're Monte in this position, we like to call him the age-old kind of attack without taking attack. Going towards that side. A bomb plot would be lovely here. Might be that luxury at range. Only 1 result. A consolation kill comes through from Warrow. But that'll be about that. Upgrade to the weaponry as well. Really good to see. So only the 1 investment needed. Actually, Gokashima gets dropped over. The Org, he drops it back and pick up the AWP. Very good position actually for FORZE to be in. Much better buy to speak of in towards the next round. And they've got momentum in their sails. They're in a position we'd like to assume is pretty smooth sailing right now. This is a really, really nice run of form that we've had so far from FORZE, kickstarting their CT side, which you'd expect on a map like Nuke, and of course, map pick as well. Monte in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, we maybe can argue at this point that Monte's start on that CT side was just not good enough, and it's now starting to cost them, right, as FORZE have got their claws in here. You do have to give some credit to FORZE, though. Fantastic force buy win from them, of course, which, regardless of which side you're on, is always a difficult thing to do. Tried for the off angle here. Big fan. Doesn't quite find the head, but his presence still going to be known and heard here. Sticking around. Oh, and the distraction from Shalfie is beautiful. A quiet game from him, maybe, but it's just a little thing sometimes. Nade going to go around. Sends a bit of fear into Monte and how they approach the next few moments. Down by 2 in less than a minute. Really not a good spot.
Space to work with, though, for Monte at the very least. Could head down towards B. There's 2 players in the vicinity. One towards site, one towards single door. I guess that single door player of Gokashima doesn't really need to show face unless Karate gets tested. Thing coming out. Nice peek, nice find. Looks for more as well. Only 1 result for Gokashima. Frags to his name, too. Krasno so low on HP, surely no chance. Makes a good effort of it. For a little bit of a double, but he will be traded. FORZE the first side to crack double digits. 3 rounds ahead of Monte. Of course, 3 rounds away now. Taking their map pick.
Seems to have come about quite quickly as well. Like I said, it felt like we were in for kind of a tense beginning to this half, but FORZE have actually proved me wrong. They've actually grown the gap quite quickly and quite massively is the thing. So not looking good for Monte. We felt like FORZE really needed this one for survival. You can see off in the top right there that Anubis is coming up next, and we have about a 70% win rate across 30 maps played for Monte, which is just mental. Absolutely mental. What is that, like 25 wins out of 30?
Yeah.
Something close to that, isn't it?
Along those lines, man.
Really, really, really scary map, and FORZE definitely needed to pick this one up to stay alive and not go down to the 2-0.
I think it's safe to say, I mean, right now at the moment, for Monte, it feels like their chances are getting slimmer and slimmer. And again, a little bit, arguably, of an overinvestment. You look at Krasnov in towards AK-47. It's a hero AK, but even still feels risky, especially because Shalfie's playing so damn confident. They don't come over. Not even attempting to break the smoke. They're just trying to find a chunk of damage through it. And a huge gap. That third smoke didn't make it. You can see actually it bounced on towards top main. So now they know they can't cross onto a secret. That's a big error. Monte in this position. And Shalfie can punish. He gets traded out, but he goes for 2. So that's arguably enough. Waro, though, does find 1.
We'll see. Demko especially, could have crept in, but Result, little bit fishy, he thought. Gave it a look, gave it a reposition, and a big frag found from him, making sure he doesn't get sideswiped there on the A-bomb site. So, not going to happen for Bro, you would argue. Yeah, close to a headshot. Unfortunately, not close enough. So, a couple more to go, and FORZE will have taken this in relatively clean fashion. One of our final buys, perhaps, for the Monte boys, unless, similar to the first half, they can turn their act around.
Yeah, I mean, let's see, man. I mean, right now, it's safe to say FORZE have just looked overall at the better side. We probably even could have been talking about the map being done here if they didn't take such a tail off in form. In that first half, with a 5-0 start, the way they were panning out, kind of 7 to 8 rounds, felt like kind of a bare minimum scenario for them. Did lose a little bit of form, and of course, allowed Monte back in towards this game, but I've reclaimed all of that ground, all of that mileage here on that CT side. Gokushima back in towards the AWP, won't really be tested at range, bar SDY and a Krieg, but even then, shouldn't be feared all too much. Crad has been successful once before. The great volley sticks around, finds a kill on Trader 2. Really nicely done.
Solid stuff. Very solid stuff indeed. Crad's actually looked great for me. Definitely an interesting one, maybe just because we've had such a change in kind of leadership and direction for FORZE, but I never really felt like he needed removing from the team necessarily.
I agree.
I think they maybe just wanted to give some of their younger guys a go. Might have been a personality thing. Not too sure. He does go down, singing his praises for just a moment. That was maybe a bit overconfident. Does come close to taking out Krasnal. However, they've dropped control of the B ramp, which is a pretty important area. There is presence down below, but it's only Gokushima with an AWP. There's not an awful lot he can do against the barrage of players, especially after he misses his first shot. Going to try for a reposition. Misses again. Oh, and then lands a ridiculous flick. Of course, they were too easy. That's why he was missing. Goodness gracious me. 3 remaining for Monte. 15 seconds. This is not going to be easy.
Will they even get the bomb down, is the question. Well, Bro SDY got the right idea. Back turn for Waro. He is holding on the angle. He had the right idea. Falls flat. Gokushima gets caught napping a little bit. Doesn't clear bracket. V2 for Shalfie, but I do want to add that Bro is 2 points of HP.
Not looking good, but Bro will get it done on the low HP, man. Oh my goodness. Surviving a little while longer. Absolutely massive moment. You can see there were a few hurrahs, I think, after winning that one. Really, really close in the end. They will take it over the line. And yeah, it comes at quite a good time. They've not fully broken the bank of FORZE, but putting them in a difficult spot now. Gokushima on the glass cannon, AWP, and you can see all the M4s. Not an awful lot of utility. So this could get interesting.
Game's still on, most definitely for Monte. Goes FORZE back into a bite relatively comfortably. Warriors trying to bait out a fight here. Smoke towards top main gives him some room to work with. Oh, nice. Spotted. Gokushima there, he had no clue. It's a right-eye peek for Waro. Left eye for Gokushima. Only one person's winning that. Same for Demka as he finds Shalfie in lobby.
Crad in a weird spot here out at credit card. He's not going to get checked. Oh, and the trigger discipline. No! Crad! Oh, goodness. That could have been the round. Unfortunately, it's now Tinner left all alone. He's trying to find all 3 outside. He comes so damn close, but it's not enough in the end. So, Monte, again, finding a resurgence towards the tail end of the action of the half, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. But obviously, it's the tail end of the game here is the big thing. It's taken them a lot of time to get going, but once they have, they look pretty good. They're going to break the bank of FORZE, and man alive, this next rifle round, so much weight, so much importance.
It'll start to get pretty spicy. 2 rounds in it. Well, still 2 rounds away, but economy shattered here, so no real chance in hell. Look at this. Quad stack, shift walking, or quintuple stack even, shift walking over towards that vent position. I don't really know what the plan is here before. So you can kind of see Monte trying to poke and prod all over the map and absolutely have just no clue where anyone is. You can tell they're very scared of just a random 5 stack, a random stack somewhere where maybe they can pick themselves up a rifle. I still feel like Monte should do enough to get a bomb plant. FORZE are hearing all of the sounds here. I don't think they really have the firepower to work with in terms of denying it.
Yeah, now they're on the wrong side of the map, aren't they, really? The search party has gone out on towards this A-bomb site. Bomb will probably join them shortly. No one around. It's a B stack. They've figured that out now, and the bomb will go down momentarily. So no sweat off the Monte brow. Just a case of keeping the guns alive, I suppose, and FORZE might not even give them the opportunity for a fight. We'll see.
It's one of those ones where there's an argument maybe to be made of like, do you just give it a go because you're not really investing anything into this? But I guess on the other side too, it's saving the KD, not giving her over any kind of a kill bonus of the sort. Kind of understand that sort of mindset. We're going to find one. Ballistic. Oh, okay. It did look a little scrappy. Crad does get a consolation, but it won't really make too much of a difference. So, 10 to 11, cracking into double digits themselves now. Monte making a really good little run here. Actually, a very respectable run, it has to be said. This is what it's all about now. Consistently being found out from the Monte side, and FORZE in a position where I think it's safe to say they're worried. Lose this round, and in the run of form, of course, that Monte been having, it would be dire. Economy would be broken once again. Monte would have tied the game up and in prime pole position to take a 12-11 lead in the dying embers. FORZE is map pick.
All right, heating up. Here we go. Big round. Starts off a little quiet, an interesting kind of move to get the player on top of Mini there with the smoke down on top of the hut. So they've got some outside presence. What are they going to do with that on the Monte side of things is the big question. Shalfie working his way around. It's dangerous showing your head like that. They'll take out SDY at the very least as an even trade, but now they know Gokushima is in the garage. It's very difficult for him to get out, you know? Waro will take him out. Krasnal has really closed the gap here, really got some good space to work with. He does fall, however. Result is traded. 3 versus 2. Kills galore. Monte with the control.
Was clear. A Warrior on a trade. That is quick. Molotov towards Evan. Bomb will be planted. Nice and open too. Does he know where Crad's coming from? He seems to have an idea.
Oh, here's him, spots him and finds him. Easy for Waro. Massive clutch once again on the Monte side of things. It was a clutch that got them into this streak, and it's a clutch that keeps them in it as well. Looking very, very scary for FORZE then, as the map is slipping through their fingers right now. They've got a half buy. They've got to eco this one out, really.
Yeah.
There's not much they can do here, so it looks like we're playing for overtime.
And FORZE will let it slip. They let it slip once before in the first half, and the exact repeat is now happening at the tail end of this map. He said Monte don't mind it, but Like to say, we didn't expect this. Ooh, Krasnal will kill himself. He falls off a silo.
Yikes. That's not great. That's not great. Man, advantage for the pistols, bro. Oh, interesting moves. Out behind is Crad. He's gaining a lot of information. He's probably going to spot them in just a second here, but I don't think he'll be able to take anyone down at this range with the CZ. Oh. Oh, he's been seen. He's been seen, but he's got the information in at the very least. 1 minute and 5. They've got to deal with Crad. Can't lose a player to him. Oh, God. Demka chasing him. That's close. That is so close from Crad, but he will fall. Still, like I said, so much information to play with.
Does have to be said as well. And Monte are actually playing this quite well. When they know they're against pistols that are essentially moving as a pack, the best way to go about it is just to wait for them to overextend. They have to make a move that are FORZE. They know when you've got the lesser firepower, you can't just play standard setups. You're going to be pulled apart. Bro, doing some good work. Has to be said. He's still a player in towards main, though, and that worries me about Demka. Could be caught off guard if he doesn't clear it. He does. Oh, but nearly. Not fully committed to it. Flash going to come over. Tinner spotted. Tinner alone here. Towards backside. He's overrun, but he's going to find a kill before he falls. Oh, my God. This is still so dicey.
Very worried indeed for a moment there, but Warrow will put those worries to bed. Gaining the 12th round. But you can see just every round it feels like Monte having to fight for. Last one came down to a clutch. That one comes pretty close considering it's the pistols. And now they are up against a very hefty buy here. FORZE. Anything left in the back pocket? Anything interesting? Anything aggressive? Right? What is the change up? Or are they just going to try and stick to the tried and true that was working? A few rounds ago it was working.
Potentially could be the final round here. FORZE have let this one slip just a tad. At least they have a buy to speak of. Gokashima in towards his favorite AWP. Had a very good debut game here for FORZE too. 18 kills to his name. Isn't bad. Still, this map needs to be taken. We know what Monte can do on the rest of the pool. This is FORZE's best chance of taking an advantage in the series. But overtime is going to be required if they are to do so. Map point for Monte on the opponent's map pick. They start this one off so damn quietly.
Yeah, not wasting any time, any space, and particularly any lives. What now, though, I think is the big question that we all have. It's difficult to figure out where to go, figure out what the correct avenue of attack will be. Only 30 seconds, though, Neo. This has been an incredibly uneventful round, considering we're a minute and a half in. They're going to start to pick up the pace, however. Resalts and Tinner coming through with kills of their own. Oh, goodness, not looking good at all. Resalt has just run amok from on top. Down to Krasnal, down to the overtime. Surely not. Yeah, he will fall through the smoke. 12-12. It took an awful lot of time, but we're in for the overtime. Looking forward to this for sure.
Yeah, got to be said as well. I mean, credit to FORZE for seeing it off, but Monte are so unfortunate again not to be able to take this map away from them. I feel like they've done, again, the bulk of the buy rounds is where Monte have done their best work.
Sure. Imagine they convert that pistol, right?
Yeah, man. They've just been the better side when it comes towards these buy rounds. It's small, fine margins. And this is MR12 in a nutshell. No room for error. That force buy win from FORZE later down the line, kind of keeping them alive. Into OT. Now plays out like an MR15. These two sides so far inseparable, but this still feels like a must-win map for FORZE.
Yeah, absolutely. Big moments here. Monte, I mean, they, as you're saying, they did enough in regulation, it feels like. So just kind of continue through those motions and this should be their map. FORZE are the outliers still, unless the overtime has changed that. You know, the boost of cash, especially, it can have a pretty big effect on a lot of CT sides. So time will tell whether that's going to be the case or not. Down to the top of the garage. Or are we in secret? I can't quite tell from the minimap and the walls. I think they're just at the top of secret, aren't they? Yeah, chilling. Waiting to move down. Yeah. Waiting to move down. That's fair enough. I mean, playing it safe. Smoke going to fall from Shalfie here. And that'll keep them at bay a little while longer. Only 30 seconds once again. Monte with the clock winders in the past few rounds.
Them finds the opener, though. Crad to fall. Look at this build-up behind that smoke. Shalfie's surely in trouble here, but he actually makes a smart decision to just play a little bit further back. Technically inviting the pressure, but now he hears all the noise. Shalfie's got to line up a couple of bodies here. We'll find the first, but traded immediately.
Not bad at all. Oh my goodness, look how many kills just come in, though. All for that T side, particularly from Demke on the top side of things. But the bomb is going to get dropped at the opportune moment. No way that's how they win it. Gokashima with the well-timed frag. He'll lose his head just to add insult to injury, that it's like he doesn't care if he dies. He's won the damn round. Oh, absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But FORZE, they will take any which way they find around. They're not bothered.
Man, it is one of those rounds where you have to look towards Monte. How, again, to let that one slip. When the Gokashima finds that first kill from top ramp, nobody's looking to where that player dies. The bomb is just, you know, a lost quantity. Hence, you can see why they're fumbling around to find it and pick it up. He peeks in, finds a kill, and does not need to face until after time. Yes, he dies, but it doesn't matter. Gokashima's done enough. The debutant with a huge round to be taken there for FORZE. 20 kills to his name. Joint top with Tinner as well. Two new names, to be fair, in kind of the international scope. Of course, domestically speaking, they've been grinding for a while, but in terms of kind of the upper echelon of tier 2, we like to call it, putting up a really good performance for FORZE. It's absolutely safe to say why these guys have been picked up. Monstrous performances from primary AWP and the secondary rifler. Crystal does not to jump on towards top pop. Mollies are precarious, but sticking around for a fight. Hang on a second. Look how much space SDY's got.
Yeah, this is a bit mad, isn't it? They're, like, taking the attention away from this area. It's a big change-up. It's a big change-up. They've been playing very slowly the past few rounds, and in this one, he's the guy that goes a lot faster. You see it sometimes, though, that outside sprint, as it were, as a bit of a conditioning test, but then he kind of throws the Molotov. He doesn't get, all right, super confident to move it down secret, but he's drawn Result. He finds the head there. Oh, nearly in for another. Surely the space created, though. Yeah, they were ready and waiting around that corner. Shalfie, good for one. Needed a little bit more. Still not totally out of the question for FORZE, but obviously looking very good for Monte from here.
Molotov back in. Oh, playing in the flames there. Kratic a lot of damage. Shalfie can find a kill of his own. Now it does feel somewhat doable, as they both come in through main. Not taking fights if Monte, just buying time.
Lovely stuff from Crad. Waro, though, keeping things alive, of course, finds the first couple of bullets available for him. Molotov going to go down. Oh, difficult here. Still got to make that cross, though, Shalfie. Finds the frag. Unbelievable scenes. Another wild and almost impossible clutch coming through for FORZE.
Well played. Really, really well played. 14-12. FORZE are now doing enough, I think it's safe to say, keep things alive and kicking for them from what was a shaky tail end to regulation. 2 out of the last 2 taking an OT. They go 3 for 3. It kind of feels like Monte don't have a chance to stake a claim back in the game. Monte, they're the biggest adversary right now. It just seems to be starting out the halves quickly.
I know, it's a bit difficult, isn't it? And going to, again, open up into this round. Will be a trade back from Gokashima, but you feel like they should be in a decent enough position. They're really liking this on top of mini smoke play as well. Just something that I don't really think I've seen an awful lot of in Go. It looks like the smoke is a little bit bugged. You know what I mean? That it's like falling below the roof of Mini, and it also smokes off the top of Mini. I don't know. Means that there's no presence in that area from the CTs, really.
Oh, nice little space created for Monte at the very least. But in the 4v4, this has been a thing for Monte. They've been, oh, hang on, they've been finding the opening kills and losing the numbers advantage. Another prime example right here, Resol. Stops Krasnal. 4 versus 3 ensues. 45 seconds to speak of. Not a lot of time. It has to be said. For Monte to speak of. Yes, they got decent map control. Isn't great. Gokashima's getting spammed through the floor. Just about stay alive. Messy fight on the way out. And I think we find ourselves now at a very interesting position. 14-13. Monte stay alive by it's a fine margin. Force the advantage in their court. At this sort of standpoint, it does start to get slowly but surely quite uncomfortable for Monte. Not a lot left in this game. Opponents 2 rounds away. This is a shaky situation to be in, to say the least. Okashima, T-side opening. Not always the easiest, but he seems to have a very good debut here. Looking for a fight through main. Nobody opting to test him, however. Warro. 29 kills to his name. Europe on the other side having a whale of a time in the server, but Stemkids open things up. Krat to find himself dropped more or less immediately. No response to the trade 2 is going to make this all the more difficult. It all goes quiet too. Smoke over to a single door, but Monte numbers advantage. They've been in this position before. Let it slip. This time looks a lot more solid. Smoke onto a single. Re-smoke that being. And Demke gets no tags. So no info to speak of, really. Does go quiet. 50 seconds. FORZE still waiting for an overextension, waiting for a mistake. And they might get their overextension. Demke's going to tuck himself in towards hot. In comes the commit towards A. Backside SDY waiting for an opportunity. They're dropping down Ven. This would have been heard. The commitment's going towards B. FORZE swinging out. Bro to find first. Krasnal to step up. Resol finds the trade, but it might not be enough as Krasnal doubles down. Gokashima's all that's left. And unfortunately, for the new boy on the block, he will not have the opportunity to shine here. Monte gonna tie this game up. 14 rounds apiece.
Counter-terrorists win.
That'll be that. Gokashima stays alive. But a simple ending to what was a pretty simple round. All things considered, this is a very good position now for Monte. It does give them that early momentum in towards the second half of OT number 1. At a 14-14 scoreline as well. FORZE do need to be careful. 2 rounds all that Monte need to close out their map pick. 1 round apiece. We go double OT. Let's see if that's needed. Nade. Lead towards ramp. Nothing offering up just yet for bro. Definitely a little bit of a quieter start than they would have hoped so far. Warrow. So aggro. Here's the jump as well. Crad. This could cost him his life now. No quantity, and Warrow is never missing those. Here's the opener. Drops that dirty bomb as well. Continues to have an incredible performance. Throw going to be tested. Flash will come over. Shalfie caught by it. Still some space gained here. This is not a bad position to be in. For the fight, will cost him his life. All of the space into a top ramp will net FORZE a double entry in towards the B site. Rotations have come thick and fast though. One towards window, one towards single door. Krasnal tagged down low. Nemka, it's so risky. He will fall on the edge of the smoke. Surely now. No chance for Monte. This is looking like a FORZE round through and through unless Warrior's got something to say about it. 1v3 needed. Smoke comes through. Flash on the corner looking for a fight as well, but he will fall to the hands of Result. Map points FORZE. Now a question of can they close it out this game. Continuing to deliver. Right in saying Monte do have attack pause left in the back pocket, but they're going to opt against it. Let's see. Only bits of Utah. Look at the call by Monte. This is so aggressive, so proactive. Blessing in terms of a space, but could be a curse in terms of if they lose these frags. The smoke might set a ruse here, but Warrior going to find the first. Warrior going to find the second as well. Bomb is dropped. He's traded out, but the space reclaimed here. Result and Craig going to find one of their own. Result steps up for yet another scrappy fight here in the tail end. 2 versus 2. What potentially could be the final round of the half. Gokashima and Crad waiting for a rotation. Nothing being given up just yet. Don't cross no way. Gokashima missed shot with the AWP. Second time of asking will find it now. Put himself thrust into a 1 versus 1. Gokashima versus Krasnal, the new boy for FORZE to try and salvage this round, but he's an own quantity. Krasnal hears all of these steps as he goes down towards B. 35 seconds, has a smoke, will close the door as well and get that bomb planted. Where does Krasnal come from? That is the question. As Gokashima looks for the answer. Over towards ramp, nothing offering. Bomb is planted, nice and open too. So he can post up anywhere. Window heard. Window seen. Spotted the barrel above him as well. Gokashima's got the right idea. Surely this should be enough. Waiting time is ticking. I don't think Krasnal's aware. Spotted, dropped, and Gokashima finds it. 16-14. What a finish to a miraculous map number 1. Brilliant work coming through. A Gokashima masterclass. And that'll be FORZE final of their map pick, 16-14.
Yeah, I caught the end. A little bit of a hiccup on my my spot there, so apologies for that. But yeah, goodness me. I mean, what a great game coming through. Monte, again, just unable towards that very tail end to keep it together. They were in such a good position in regulation, looked fantastic, and FORZE just stayed alive. And as I sort of mentioned going into the overtime, that was all that they needed, I guess, right? Enough to give them some more energy, enough to pick their spirits back up. And again, as always talked about, that money was no longer an issue for them, particularly on that CT side, to just keep themselves alive. So really well played from both teams. You can't take it away from any, right? When it finishes that close, just one round in it between another overtime and the finish there in the first overtime. It is ultimately just a great game. Sure, there are little things that we could have changed, right? That force by win from FORZE made all the difference right at the start of the second half. If Monte convert that pistol, feels like the game goes their way a hell of a lot easier. So there are a few things we could pick apart, but ultimately a fantastic game of Counter-Strike there on Nuke.
Yeah, no, absolutely, of course. It is only map number 1, despite it being a little bit of a marathon. So we still have quite a little bit more left in the locker. We're going to throw us onto a break. When we are back, it's Monte's pick coming up next. Sit tight. This one looking like it might be a 3-map affair. We'll have to wait and see. We'll see in a second.
Nothing but the fading light.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you very much for your patience there. A little bit of a technical issue, I think, getting into this map. But we are here now. We are here now. And if you are perhaps just joining us on the second map, you'd be unaware that FORZE won the first in overtime and only one round in it. 16-14. Real damn close on their own map pick. We now move on to Monte's map of Anubis. And it most certainly is. Lovely find to open us up here. Tina does get a double kill. Whether it's going to be enough is another question. Rotation very quickly cut off, unfortunately, so this is looking pretty good right now for the Monte boys. Saying that, Resalt goes unchecked and he finds all three heads. Oh my goodness, what a monster.
Oh my god, they let that one slip a little bit. It looked initially quite good for Monte. They had a fairly decent amount of space to work with. They had some good mid control coming in. And you're thinking, all right, well, that's it. A prime position to be in for the round to go in their favor. And oh my, how it slips. So, FORZE off the back of taking their map pick, 16-14. Start things well here in towards that of map number 2 is Monte's pick also out of Anubis. Result, bit of a masterclass. You love to see it.
Certainly do. So, FORZE, decent start for them, I think. Oh, we are now interested to see what the Monte response looks like, of course. Just somewhere down the middle for them, a number of Deagles in play. SDY's Deagle looks pretty good to kick us off. So there goes a gun. There goes a life. Shalfie pressing forward. Risky, if you ask me, but he comes away with a kill.
That's kind of the main thing, isn't it? I mean, the big thing here now for FORZE is just making sure these pistols don't make it too expensive. That would be probably the most dire situation you could ask of. Monte still waiting, hoping for overextensions, but not really being given anything to speak of just yet. Much slower affair in the server. Looks like the finish wants to be over towards B, and Waro leading the charge with the bomb in tow.
Tina trying to hold the line here. Looking relatively good for him. Nice little smoke there as well. Should most certainly keep them at bay. Trying to get some spam, but just does not quite come off for him. Still 20 seconds left. The Monte boys have to die at some point. So they probably just want to charge through this smoke, to be honest. Throw their lives away. And I think that may well be what we're going to get in just a few moments here. And indeed, that's the way that it goes. Certainly making us wait for it, I guess. But, you know, any damage being good damage there in that round, it's not going to happen. However, they're not going to be able to take it over the line. It all makes sense. But they will get a pretty early rifle buy.
You're not giving themselves a hell of a lot of time, I think it's safe to say, but in the end, they go down. Of course, gives them the opportunity to buy now in towards round number 3. Bit of a kind of a throw around, but wasn't really made a little bit more expensive than they would have hoped for. AK's Galil in play. Galil, I say Krieg, may I say, in play for Krasnov. Krieg has definitely made a resurgence towards CS2. That Molotov, Sharpie's hoping that one doesn't result. Shooting at chickens actually gives away his position.
Just about. A little bit weird. Gokashima will manage to drop Waro. Kind of an all over the place sort of round here, isn't it, to be honest? But Monte, maybe as the dust settles, have got some control towards A. Really, really solid control as well. So FORZE pushing down middle, going to have to do something with this and do something quickly. SDY holding. They are as yet to push past the window. Oh, the timing is pretty good, but should be an easy enough take on towards A, you would think. We'll see. Tinner, nice idea from him. The sense of timing here from FORZE is absolutely fantastic. And now as the utility starts to come over, they will know what is up. Tinner only good for 1. Caught in transition there, but the flank is so damn fast from Krad in particular. It has been heard. They were ready for it, but he still wins that fight against Krasnal. A man advantage now for FORZE on the retake. An open plant for Bro. Could have gone south, but they didn't fully commit round the corner. Bro finds Gokashima. They know there's a flank in play, and it's all onto the flank now. Can't get it done. Wow, Bro and SDY pulling off the 2 versus 3 in the close quarters combat.
Yeah, gotta be said, just as it started to look so damn dicey as well. They make it work. It's a sigh of relief, I think it's safe to say, for Monte. That one was looking like it was going to slip away from them. Oh, no, they're okay. First on the board, and of course in a round which should be somewhat smooth sailing, just considering that FORZE had a bonus buy to work with. But because of how somewhat expensive the round prior was, you see Economy's taking a little bit of a hit over towards FORZE. So only the upgraded pistols for Tinner and Krad. Eagle and a CZ. One side, triple M, not exactly a dream buy. See whether they can make anything of this thing right now. Still a lot to like. Shelfie finds the opener.
Would be a good response here from FORZE if they can bounce back. But not always easy. Bro ready and waiting for this smoke to dissipate, but I don't think anything really going to present itself behind it. Oh, got to be careful playing anti-flash. He knows that there's maybe something on the way. Tinner takes out DemQ behind him, though. They're unable to deal with the FORZE aggression right now, but they walk into Krasnal. Oh my goodness, this has turned the round upside down. B bomb site very vulnerable indeed, as those rifles have been dropped. Tinner goes down. Shalfie from the back end of Street, trying to do what he can here. Decent find for 2. SDY all alone and up against 1. Fake comes in. Gokashima, what can he do here? The new blood on the scene has to stay collected.
Bomb goes down. Gokashima opts against respecting the smoke. I like that. But can he find the kill? He spotted him. He has. But he's locked in towards that cubby. This is such a scrappy fight against the experience of SDY. This is a man who is thrown to these positions. But the new blood at Gokashima will clutch it out. Oh my, oh my. SDY could not convert. Gokashima, a little shake of excitement as FORZE find their third. Had a really good map, number 1, Gokashima, and continues that run of form in towards their opponent's map pick. Now, it was Waro who ended off Nuke with the most frags under his belt. Starts this one off 0-4. If he can pick up the form once again, that's where you can maybe start to see there's something on Monte. It's been a little bit of a shaky start. But then again, Script, that's been every single half. Both first half, second half, and overtime was always a slow start for Monte. So we're kind of used to it at this point.
Very slowly. Bro, charging out though, picking up the pace. Okay, Monte are angry, it would seem. Molotov towards Dark Shelf. He can't really do too much with it. Oh, it's a little bit wild over here. SDY going to take out Tinner. While blinded, Krasnal finds Krad. They know that there's a player out behind this smoke. In comes the rest of the cavalry, though. 1 versus 1. Oh my goodness, this round is all over the place. Bombs hit the deck is the big thing. Gokashima has that. SDY trying to work around that and get the catch.
Once again, a solo 1v1. Gokashima this time, for him, better weaponry than of SDY, but the Mac-10 on the move, on the prowl, can be rough to come again. Oh, and SDY clutches it out. Crisp. When it comes down to this time, SDY isn't losing those. Monte stay within 1 and break the funds of FORZE.
Madness. Pure madness, my friend. Set to continue. Really looking good. And Monte kind of proving why they are one of the better looking teams on this map, right?
I mean, right now,
really great stuff.
They're probably one of the best in the world, right?
I would have thought so. Yeah, between them and like Ents, probably.
Yeah, they're like a top 8 team. They've been playing it both online and actually very respectively on LAN as well. I think this is a lot of credit, but also I think there's the other side with FORZE. They have a lot of tape on the map too, right? So, sure. Depending on
and just kind of a no pressure type of energy as well. They've already won their own map picks. Maybe not expected for them to win this one. I think they'll be realistic about that fact as well, not just the fact that, you know, we're saying it and maybe you, the viewer, feels that way as well. I think that FORZE will have realistic expectations coming into this, and sometimes that allows your field of play to be a bit wider. You know, you just take a few more options and you actually end up being harder to deal with.
This one, of course, not amounting to all too much. I think FORZE don't really want to give away any kill bonus, which with a Mac-10 in play is actually not even the worst call, really. They know that, generally speaking, for Monte, their economy is still on a little bit of a knife's edge, at least long term, right? So going back in towards the next round, they'll have some leftover funds. Them for him. Stack, nice and simple. And FORZE, it's the only test they get in that round. The Mac-10 opting, or coming out with basically nothing. So yeah, all things considered, good position for FORZE to be able to rebuy in, no questions asked. They are going to continue wielding that Mac-10. Normally, you know, back on the old kind of Go days, we'd say, you know, is it really worth it? But on CS2, that Mac-10 is so damn strong. Fully understandable. So, before we go into that Barbie, I'm going to see attack pause called. Don't mind this call at all. I think for FORZE, they understand that they are allowing Monte in towards this game maybe a little bit earlier than what was on Nuke. Of course, Nuke started 5-0 in favor of FORZE. I'm kind of hoping for more of the same.
All right. Let's see how things will continue to move here. This looks very impressive, I think, from both parties so far. FORZE, though, are maybe turning a few heads with how competitive they have kept this map. I don't think we were expecting Monte to completely blow them out of the water, but maybe a bit more than they have so far, for sure. But we'll see. Pretty important round here into the latter stage, the beginning of the end of this first half.
Fine, out towards A. Players here from FORZE ready to fight though, but taking a lot of damage. Retail down to the Flames. I think now with that opening frag coming through, they might just call this, but are they going to be given the luxury is a different question. Gokashima has to fight his way out to survive.
Scary, very scary indeed. I don't really know if they want to go for this. They're so far away. Yeah, and with no kit available, that time is just going to make all the difference. You know what I mean? They would have probably been hitting the bomb site around now. Bomb's already halfway gone. They just would have no time to slow down and set up and all that malarkey. So they will save the round. They will concede the round. And they will lose out on the lead. So Monte gaining that control that they were after in the early stages, taking them a little bit of time once again, but looking good as now FORZE have got to hit us with a solid response.
I gotta say right now, FORZE actually look a little shakier than what we saw in towards Nuke. At least when we saw on Nuke, they were on those gun rounds. Generally, Monte were actually the better side when it came towards gun rounds, but FORZE had a decent idea. Their CT side had a lot of kind of stability behind it. They're looking a little shaky right now. Granted, Anubis is probably the only map that you could ever say was inherently T-sided. Of course, that's a big thing that a lot of pros complained about. I think towards CS2 with the swing meta, it kind of feels like it amplifies it a little bit. The main thing for FORZE on your opponent's map pick, when they're starting on the T side, especially a side like Monte, you'd hope that FORZE can find a bare minimum of 5. Gokashima needs to be careful here. He could be in trouble.
Nice find once again. Gokashima does seem to be struggling out on towards this A site, it has to be said. Monte starting to abuse that fact a little. But again, we are going to save. A bomb site just seems too easy for the T side.
It's one of those things as well. You know, generally how you play Anubis, you do have an anchor over towards that kind of a bomb site. You play 1 through mid, 3 through B. That's kind of a somewhat meta, quote-unquote, setup. The only problem being that if you're now feeling a little bit of consistency and losing that A bomb site, and you then try to stack it, it leaves other parts so damn weak. Which is where we look towards mid control being not good enough, or what's actually probably more concerning is that the B sites start to be a little bit of vulnerability. That was so scrappy. They're so going to find one. Actually makes it a couple before he falls. Not the end of the world. They are hunted right to the end there. Another buy which wasn't really primed for FORZE. This time better. Gokashima can pick up the AWP. Might mean that he doesn't play over towards that solo away position now if he is AWPing. Maybe more of a mid peak being played by him. Or even actually most AWPers like to play through B water in that higher position. I don't know whether they change up the positions just a tad. Maybe leave a rifle anchoring over towards A. It looks like... No, it looks like Gokashima's still in there. He's at that rough direction. This time the Resort will take the reins away, though.
See, this is again another fast round. Bro leading that charge out. They look a bit more ready on this B bomb site. They've been loving the stack over here. They give them the control, actually. 4 versus 3. Try and play in for a retake. Smart move. Shalfie, though, doesn't quite get the memo. Loses his head. So we're even in terms of numbers, but it's the HP that makes the big difference here. Tina trying to be cheeky around that smoke. Flash comes in for him to get a bit wild. Can't find anyone as yet, though. Not expecting that second player as well. DemQ comes round, picks up one. He's left on the Glock, but it's enough to find Resalts. Volley onto the bomb. An awkward fight for Gokashima against 2 now, and they will take him out. Monte starting to run rings around FORZE.
Yeah, FORZE crumbling now. This is actually pretty dire. They can buy back in. Lost bonus and what had been saved from those 2 rifles staying alive the round prior. Gives them stability to loose term, but gives them something to kind of speak of. They can buy in, no issues. They could have actually gone for an AWP, but they will go for an AWP. Back on towards Gokashima. I like the trust in the new boy on the block and kind of continuously giving him the AWP. He deserves it, but how well he played towards Nuke. Of course, how well he's actually started in towards Anubis. Monte look like a much better side right now. You could run a form on this map as well for Monte. It has been pretty esteemed. 30 times they played her in the last 3 months. And in the last few months, when it's headed on towards CS2, on officials, for the most part, nearly unbeaten. They've had a whale of a time on this map. You know, big wins like 13-4 over Fnatic, for example. Even recently taking down the likes of Saw, Movistar, Falcons, etc., which is, I mean, it's pretty commendable, isn't it? So, this is Monte's map through and through. But not at least their start. Crowd finds the first, traded out immediately. However, Craig could be in trouble.
He is indeed. It's unlucky. B bomb site probably falls. Oh, Shelby, so close on the spam. Just not there in the end. Result, though, keeps them in it a little bit. Nice frag from him out towards Dark, so I'm curious to see how this goes. The smoke's starting to dissipate, and again, low HP bars dotted about for Monte quite heavily. Kit available for Gokashima. It's not a bad look on the retake. Flash goes round for Shalfie to start pushing forwards. There is a flank coming round in towards that Dark player. Yeah, Result going to go down. Bolsters the position really, really well. Tap onto the bomb. Dem Q to peek out. It's all on Shalfie. 3 to find. Not a chance. And again, the retake falls apart.
Oh, well. FORZE, man. Dire straits. Dire straits they are finding themselves in right now. They're in a lot of trouble. This is Monte, who have just dominated the opening proceedings. We talk about kind of what is kind of a bare minimum on your opponent's map pick. Normally like to say somewhere in the region of 5. Anything less is rough. 8-4 is kind of the equivalent of like the 10-5. Back on go. 9-3 being the equivalent of 11-4. We don't really talk about those 11-4 curses because, well, it's just not true, simply put. Warrior finds the opening. Gokashima falls. These pistols already not starting too fresh.
Yeah, not looking too good. Not looking too good at all. That is to be expected. So we'll see. A little bit more movement from the side of FORZE would be good. If they can secure a few rifles, if they can, I mean, regain some confidence, that would be great. Nice little 2-for-1 outside of A. Krasnov finds Crad though, and I mean, that's going to open up the B-bomb site. Should be doable from here. Another one falls. Just Tinner. Ooh, and easily dealt with by Bro. 8-3 then, starting to get into the scary realms as we move towards the tail end. There has to be a recovery here. FORZE kind of need to hit this 4th, I think. Even then.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. It's one way of putting it. FORZE found a round of the half. At least going to have something to speak of in terms of an investment. I'm actually going to go for a double AWP setup here. I don't mind this. Both Gokashima and Shalfie have been playing through that mid and A site. Probably going to be a nice little lean for them. Shalfie this time going to play a little bit deeper over towards B. Gokashima, that AWP is going aggro. He could be in trouble with the P90. On the run, only one's winning.
God alive, what is going on? This is an absolutely wild A round. It's Result to hold for 3, though. He repeats the pistol. Solo hold, the hero hold. Just SDY and Warrow. They're obviously going to try and go for this, but I don't know what they will be able to find. The bomb at the feet of the defensive side is enough.
Two remaining. An open and 8 gate in what is a very, very dire situation. I'll make something work if SY takes a flag and a resmoke in their face. Gonna hold this round. Fortunately, nothing to work with. I feel like it's more or less a bit of a forlorn conclusion there. I can't really see a world. They've got a lot of user left in the back pockets. There's a Molotov going to come through. They just can't go through this. And they're already being flanked too. It's no chance. This round's done. 8-4 at the half. There's no two ways about it. Shalfie's on for a quick flank as well. The ball goes. Finds that first. Looks for more. And that'll be that at the half. 8-4. We're going to see if they can continue it after the break.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
Hello, one and all. We are back into the action here, of course. Looking like a Monte masterclass here. They really picked up speed towards the middle and the end of that first half. As to be expected, great map for them. They're living up to that at the moment, and we are maybe in for a bit more. We'll see. Waro going to find the first head here of the second half. Okushima trying to lead the charge with the Glock. It's actually Resalt to find the frag, and he will go down with no ammunition. Resalt looking good on the pistols, you have to say. The rest of the squad not really able to help him out, unfortunately, and indeed another head going to roll. So just Mr. Resalt, and he's good. He is good. Certainly not out of all the realms of possibility. Waro, though, will find him on that first bullet accuracy, and that is a big round for Monte.
Got to be said, probably a little bit closer than they would have hoped for. But the big thing, of course, being that Monte just continue that pretty much immaculate run of form, man. This has been a side that have been kind of flying their way through this game. There really hasn't been too much of a competition so far. It kind of feels like it's continuing. What a pistol picked up by Monte. And finding the 9th in the way that they do, and now put themselves in a very good position. Of course, the bomb plant tempts FORZE here in towards a full buy, which they'll go for, understandably. But lose this, Monte find 10. They kind of get an 11th as a bit of a 2-for-1 special. And before you know it, this map could be over in a matter of mere moments. FORZE, this sort of force buy, full buy that they've gone to, more or less has to be converted in my eyes.
Yeah, it definitely does feel that way. But as far as they go, it's a pretty decent one, right? In terms of where the weaponry is at, especially bait in towards DemQ, bait in towards Warrior. It's a lovely little setup there from the Monte A boys. I think they knew what was up. And with that, they're able to not only get the man advantage, but also scare them away, right? So those 2 deaths of FORZE completely in vain.
The initial battle now not favoring FORZE leaves them kind of scratching their heads. Where do they go from here? I mean, the positive news is they have the bomb still in tow, but I mean, even still, Respawn going to come through over towards main. It just denies any presence out towards B from that side. And you see the 2 B players and Monte not really taking any face here. Waro does reposition, and he gets good timing. It allows him to back in towards main. Shelfie going to find the first crash. It's a 4.
Decent. Oh, a little bit of team damage as well in the mix here is certainly awkward. 2 versus 2. And we'll see now. Bomb has yet to be planted. 25 seconds to get it down. I'm trying to wait for Tinner to come in on the backside, I think. He's got some good information. SDY, though, not fully committing at this point. They're going to hear the runaway as well, I believe. Tinner trying to get himself into a good spot. Timing on this could be big. He'll get there before SDY, excuse me. So what is SDY going to move from here? Actually goes in for the swing, wins out the fight. Shalfie wins his 1v1. A headshot splits the difference between such a big moment here. If Shalfie can get it done, and he can. Oh my goodness, what a flick across. Well held for the spray, and a huge round for FORZE.
We said they have to find it, right? If FORZE are any chance in this map, it all came down to whether they can convert the force. They do. And now there is a conversation to be had about what they can do going forward. What is on the cards for FORZE? Granted, Monte, the optimal position to find themselves right now is just going in for a force here. They're on double eco. They basically have to buy in. SDY is going to pick up a Nova. The rest of the team opting for just pistols, realistically speaking. The FORZE, very good opportunity for them. SDY playing anti, start around, no real presence showing, but it's met with an aid.
A little bit awkward here. The spam across. Trying to be effective, but not quite the wave. Nothing quite coming off. 1:15 on the clock, and there just isn't really anything showing at this point. Monte with their wacky buy, especially SDY on that Nova. Oh, Crass now through the wall, lucky to be alive.
Demka, backside. Safe to say he's probably in a little bit of trouble here. One Molotov and he will be done for. Fortunately for him, One Molotov's in the hands of Gokushima. Just come over into his back donor. Demka now going to burn in the flames. He will fall solo STY, and I think this round should be done. But still is a 3 versus 3, which, hang on a second, has been a little bit more problematic than you would assume. Gokushima finds Bro. Still has the bomb, and he falls with it. Uh-oh. Oh no, Waro, well played. FORZE have fluffed their lines there.
Yeah, they just really don't look to be on the same level, do they, on this map, to be honest with you, as compared to Nuke, yes, but also, and importantly, as compared to Monte. Just really is not there.
Yeah.
They will be kind of kicking themselves, I think, that they've not performed, that it does come down to a third. Again, not necessarily cut and dry moving on to that third map. It is going to be a challenge for them. I think that they may well struggle on Mirage. Monte have got a lot of reps and a lot of high-level experience in recent memory. So, yeah, we do kind of worry a little bit, to be honest. But we'll see. We'll see. Timeout being taken. FORZE still have time to close that gap.
Yeah, I guess that's the main thing, isn't it? It's not the end of the world just yet, but they're definitely not making it easy for themselves. It's a really, really uncomfortable position they found themselves in, just because with Monte converting that, all the momentum swings back in their favor. Back into a buy of some regards for FORZE, but it isn't pretty. Only the one rifle. Oh, and that one rifle's already dead.
Yeah, pretty awful. Pretty awful. Another kill going to come in as well with that aggression. So, solid hold, solid play. SDY flying down on the auto shotgun. That range is a bit far. Also a bit hard for the Max 10, though, to be fair. And it results in his death in the end anyway, so it's all good. Nonetheless, Gokushima, first time he's been alone.
You do. Tech 9 1v4. Pretty unlikely anything comes of it. Does give himself a consolation kill. It's nothing more than that, though. So, there's the 11th. Continuing to pull further and further away. There isn't too much of a competition left in this game, unfortunately. One-way traffic, one team in it. And a one-track mine from Monte just to push this towards the decider. Arguably should have taken map number 1, but let it slip. Looked rough, looked uncomfortable at times, and the same story has been set up towards FORZE here. Anubis never really got into it, and now they are playing for OT.
STY. Oh, yeah, that is a shadow that you see. Gonna go for the clean kill. Knows the trick to the trade here is that boost up coming in. Nade does decent damage and reveals a bit more information as well. Looking good here. Flank around the side with the P90. And that will be that. Looking like we're going to a third pretty swiftly here now.
Yeah, mate, I think so. But arguably, you know, it's just so deserved. I think right now, Monte, they understand that there really hasn't been too much of a competition. It once again just reaffirms the idea that we had about this map, man. Monte right now seems to be one of the best sides in the world on Anubis. Not only in terms of kind of the caliber of victories they've been picking up, but also just the number of reps they've had. Like we said, 30 times in the last 3 months. A lot of them have been since the release of CS2. FORZE, yeah, they have a buy, but it isn't pretty.
Yeah, it's very true. Good serve. Oh, they're just going so fast and aggressive, right? They're frustrated, I think. Very tail end here. Decent nade damage coming in. That should be all she wrote. Isolated while planting the bomb, etc. Result alone. And he is finished easily, of course, by the P90 of Waro 2K. 13-5 in the end. Monte, as expected, with an absolute stormer there on Anubis. Really just hammering home why they are such a formidable force on that map, and FORZE really no match at all. As we thought, as we felt, this one had 3-mapper written all over it, and that's exactly what we're going to get.
Yeah, you know, just deservedly so. I think Monte, they're just a really solid side on this map. You can just see they don't even delve too deep into the strat book in that map either. They're playing such fundamental Counter-Strike, but they know that when you look at the individuals of the two sides, there basically is only one competition. Right now, Monte is such a force to be reckoned with, ranked, you know, number 8 in the world, right? So you cannot sleep on this team. And that's why this is the sort of performance they can put up. They want to go flawless in this group. And right now, they are on track to do so. We're heading towards a third map. Nuke is going to be our decider. When we look towards this as well, it definitely kind of feels like anybody's game. Sorry, Mirage is our decider. It kind of feels like anyone's game, just because it kind of lends into the strengths of both of these two sides. They both rely on puggy individuals to step up. It now becomes a question mark of who can find their form as early as possible in towards Mirage. Ladies and gents, we're going to throw this one to a break. When we are back, it's our decider. It's our third map in this series. Mirage is up next. We'll see you after the break.
love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Third map getting underway here, of course. A pretty clean one from Monte on the second. FORZE just really did not put up much of a defense or an attack, to be honest. They were very handily defeated on Anubis. Maybe to be expected by pretty much all parties involved, I would say, but all the same, we wanted FORZE to bring it a bit closer than they did in the end.
Ooh. Bit of a weird fighting towards mid. SDY jumping back turn. The bomb on his back, though, so it has been spotted. Oh, Kashima plucks him out of the sky, and the bomb falls into window. Oh, no, that couldn't have got worse.
Yeah, that's a little disastrous, to say the least. See what the wave is here. Bro and Demka trying to do something, but, I mean, yeah, there's not really much that they can get done. Bro takes one. There's a lot of low HP bars. So I'm actually a big fan of this reposition. Oh, I don't know if he's going to be ready for this fight below him, though, unfortunately. Does not look like it. Knife is out, maybe, but Crad takes him with the pistol in the end. FORZE, therefore, starting off pretty well. I think that's exactly what they needed after such a trouncing on the previous map.
Yeah, 100%. I think as well, Monte, it looked like quite a gimmicky pistol, and I think it ended up playing out in exactly that sort of fashion. Only the one casualty. 4-4 is a bit of a weird one, all things considered. SDY jumping back turn, nothing wrong with that. But then, of course, with the bomb on his back, continuing to go forward and then jumping into window. Yeah, that was around done within the first kind of 15 seconds. But SDY will answer back with a nice opener. So he makes up for his previous mistake here on the FORZE spy.
It's pretty well played. Kashima pushing up middle. Nice find onto the first, but it's just not going to be enough, is it, right? Like, an even trade is not good. Really not good.
I've got to say, though, so far this series, I'm really impressed with Kashima coming in towards the fray. He's someone who been playing a lot of online Counter-Strike, but more kind of in the reins of tier 3, so to say, but here in probably, I mean, against what you would, I mean, you can't even really argue it. A tier 1 team of Monte. He's holding his own. Shows his individual ability. This FORZE side looked much better than they have done for quite a while. Probably since Jerry was in the fray and they were making pushes towards Pro League. That was the last time FORZE really looked solid. Taking one of the best teams in the world. 3 maps here. And they could be about to find a 2-0 start. All that's after SDY. They chunks him down to 20. He's not long lived for this world. He's got no chance.
Not looking good. Trying to get them to peek into him here, but, well, it's just not going to happen for him, is it, in the end? Second round on the board. Easy does it. I think they will indeed be happy with the way things have gone.
I think right now as well, for Monte, there is maybe question marks about those sort of buys. We've already kind of said it in the kind of the change onto ML12, going for FORZE buys, especially in that situation where you didn't get a bomb down. It feels pointless. He has to get a couple of consolation kills, but in the grand scheme, they're 2-0 down, and usually you have a buy in this situation, but because of the FORZE, Monte have to go to Deagles once again. I'm never really a fan of forcing on that second round at all on the CT side if you lose a pistol, and then obviously if you're the T side, you don't get a bomb down. If you get a bomb down, different story. You can go into a Galil, you can make something of it. But it just means that it gives FORZE such a prime opportunity to start so strong here. Nice swing from Crad. Lineup is sumptuous. Crasser gets a lot of damage towards Warrow.
Result should have an easy cleanup here. Whoa, okay. Spoke too soon. That was rough. That was really rough. At least 2 of them spotted, I guess, right? There is like that trade-off of information. He only loses an MP9, so it's really not a total disaster, but still should have had at least 1 from there, to be honest with you. 50 seconds left, and Monte have plenty of space to try and reposition. That is exactly what they're going to go for, but you have to deal with Tinner in this corner of the kitchen. No further field to do that. And there's also a little cheeky peek down below from Warrow. Nothing coming, bro. One. He is taken out by Tinner on the follow-up move there. So easy does it. FORZE are moving up to 3 with minimal casualties.
Yeah, no, it's a very simple things considered. Monte, thankfully, though, do get a buy heading out towards this one. I don't think they have enough for the AWP. If I'm mistaken, yeah, no, they won't. So, in double AK across the board, Gokashima, however, doesn't have those financial issues, of course. He has the AWP in play to work with. B9 for Tinner. Trying to activate Gokashima as best they can, understandably so as well. Has been the highest rate performer thus far for FORZE. Quick from Monte. Crad for the opener. Krasnov for the trade.
Decent stuff, bro. Coming round here, looking for another entry for Monte. He's going to get it. Be a third? Oh, yes. Okay, so super clean on towards that A bomb site in the end then. 4 versus 2. Tinner is close to the action with his MP9. Could certainly drop a player here if he finds the right space. But surely not going to be able to get around itself. Yeah, drops the bomb. That'll be a bit of a nuisance. Short-lived, though, isn't it? Gokashima's smoked off. No way he can really find anything here. And sure, they have cap, but I would probably edge for the save here. Yeah, he doesn't really have the choice in the end as he goes down. So Monte on the board as soon as they get the guns out.
Yeah, good. It's actually really effectively done as well. I guess the silver lining in that situation for FORZE that the AWP isn't picked up. Warrow was really good with it over towards Nuke. He unfortunately didn't really find that form, at least to start off the map on towards Anubis, but in the grand scheme, he wasn't caught upon all that much. So, big thing being that now we are looking pretty damn solid. I mean, Warrow still ended up finishing pretty cleanly over towards Anubis, but the AWP wasn't caught upon that much. One of those maps that does allow Monte to play their playstyle of like kind of uber pugginess, and does have a similar vein. Nice nade to come through though, Demka. We'll start this one off 73, and Resol finds the first bro down through the smoke.
Certainly not ideal, sir. But definitely recoverable. Definitely recoverable for Monte. Looks like they want to go more of a B-lean at this point. Nice little window smoke as well. Just going to keep the CT attention towards middle, but the bomb itself, like I say, is headed towards B. A small burst coming in from just 2 players here. Try and isolate some fights. Tinner good for 1, instantly traded. Still good to have that advantage, of course. Jalfi known towards short. Somehow survives the fight. Gokashima's on the main AWP, I suppose, but the secondary in this round. 4 versus 2 retake. There is a kit available in the hands of Brad. Looking very good indeed. Gokashima ready for the fight. It's all on to Warrow. Leading voice in the team has got to do it all. Clean for 2. Can he get Crad? He wasn't quite ready for the peak. The timing just escapes Warrow here, but slowly the gap going to close, and they are isolated as well. Oh, he comes so close. Unable to get it done, and FORZE, they will answer right back.
Yeah, I gotta say, that's kind of what it's all about. When you come back in towards a full buy drone in response, the big thing being that you take it in a relatively clean fashion. They were tempting to look like they're going for the double AWP there. They don't need to. Gokashima can reclaim it from Crad. Monte, for them, bomb plant is keeping them alive a little bit. These full buy rounds is where Monte done their best work throughout the series. Anubis is one-way traffic. The bulk of Nuke, similar fashion, even though FORZE ended up winning out that map. They got the added caveat of having all the success from winning both pistols, both forces too. So, the rounds bonus there. Shima trying to take a fight in towards early B. I just feel like Krasnov might want to test him. Playing very deep though. Just above under. Just wise what he pushed his way through. Resol taking a fight there, just gonna fall away.
Yeah, I think both players in the B apartments waiting for the other to make the aggressive move. Ooh, and if you keep an eye on your minimap, Gokushima has started to step forwards here. Oh, it comes close, doesn't it? They both tag each other, but no kill coming in. All the same, that could have been a really round-deciding kind of moment from the two of them.
Deagle is all that Demka's got to work with. 0-5, he finds himself right now. SDY, gotta find a kill. Bro will be the one to confirm it, but Tina does find a trade as Boro falls. Dink is huge, but the numbers now favor Monte.
Looking good. Looking very good indeed. We'll see. This is still going to come close. They have to deal with these players cleanly. Crad, in particular, he's going to be the first line of defense over on this A-bomb site as they make their way. Ooh, or do they? Very unsure here. Crad, clean double dink onto the healthiest player and a fantastic headshot to Krasnal to follow up. Gokushima has spotted that final player, unable to land the shot, but they know where he's at. 15 seconds. Really don't need to panic, right? He's got to go all the way around and get the bomb and get the kills, and ultimately, it's an impossible task. He's not going to try to attempt it. He will save, and it will be another round for the defense.
Yeah, lovely. Really nicely done. You know, essentially it all comes down to Crad there. That double he finds is so damn important. But like you mentioned, the most important part about it being the healthy player means that the really kind of scary factor of Monte down and out. So a 4-round buffer zone here. Not bad. Not bad at all. Monte are opting to go for a full buy, but they're not exactly bringing a comfortable one to the table. I think more maybe just a Mac 10 for him. No, not even. That would have been a luxury. You can opt for the Deagle, bit of util. Triple AK, one Galil, Resol, and that Krieg. Just going to play a little bit further back. As you mentioned, the Krieg's found some more love in towards CS2. So happy to wield it. Crad 9-1 to kickstart Mirage. Not bad, but of course he is playing A, and Monte, round upon round, seems to be continuously trying to take fights there. That's a great nade.
Pretty nasty, all things considered. And especially onto Dem Q, one of the 3 AKs into this round. SDY holding to the middle, waiting for a chance to come his way, but maybe the chance is out on the A-bomb site itself. Gokushima has managed to find a frag in from CT, though. Salt sticking around, but not for very long. Gokushima loses his head. Oh my goodness. Demolition from Monte. So fast, so aggressive, and so damn effective. Such perfect timing as well to win a round out with how close some of them have been. You can see FORZE have no reserve cash, so maybe even forced to force here. We'll see on that choice, but all the same, Monte able to close the gap.
Looks like they're going for it. Gokushima installs a FAMAS, a Nova for Crad. An MP9 for Shalfie, supported by a double D. Gets a force buy for FORZE, but not exactly a nice one by any means. I guess the positive news is they have a little bit of room kind of with rounds and reserves. But yeah, I mean, this is a prime opportunity now for Monte. Crad, I love the aggression, I really do. Actually could work out for him. Gonna tuck his head. If he pushes forward, those legs are gonna be spotted. Oh my god, he's so lucky to stay alive. He'll drop a smoke and he is out of there.
So nasty. So nasty. Need a little bit more of that, I would imagine. Okay, Result moving round. Great frag from him. It's also an AK retrieved, isn't it? So yeah, it's massive. Such an upgrade. Such a fantastic spot to be in. Really looking good. 5v4. I'm not sure that FORZE really will be able to pull off too much more aggression. They just kind of have to rest on the bomb sites from here.
Yeah. Big thing is Monte still, even though numbers don't favor them, still have an advantage when it comes towards firepower. They just can't let these sort of rounds slip. Surely not. That AK collected by Restot is huge, but his angle is pretty common. Grouping towards A. In comes the util. Restot will see all of this. Caught by the flash. Tucks his head, but I think he was spotted. Uh-oh, he's dealing damage. He's finding Frank. Hang on a second. Something could happen here. Restot for 2. Warrow traded out. numbers still favor. This bomb is not going to go down because the Nova is causing problems.
Looking very good for the side of Monte, though, as that bomb goes down. Oh, my goodness. The Nova continues to land pellets, but now it is the only one left, and I don't really think we fancy the chances of it. Crad trying to get something done with the P2K. Needs something with a bit more range, doesn't he, really? FAMAS. But you can see it's a safe position from Waro, not letting his head peacock at all. Crad going to save that FAMAS into the next round as well, so looking like an easy finish for Monte. Still a bit more work to do before they fully close that gap, and a little closer than they would have liked here.
It's one of those things as well where for FORZE, we can take some silver linings away from it in the sense that they, like you mentioned, we're kind of forced into a force buy there. And walking away with kind of 3 out of 5 kills isn't the worst thing in the world. It does mean that they now find themselves in a little bit of a shaky spot. You look at the situation they're in right now. Monte kind of feels like a free run up to a 4th, and there is such a momentum every side that this T side could start to snowball out of control. That's where you get really worried. For a side like FORZE, seen them struggle in these positions before. When Monte get that ball rolling, let's hope this isn't the case.
Indeed, mate. Indeed. Let's hope that it isn't the case. Time will tell, but yeah, this is a real challenge. Nice pick up from Waro with that bomb going down. A little battle for survival for him out towards middle. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Decent damage being done here. USP in for a bit more, but yeah, just not ready for Krasnal around the corner. Still, FORZE have kept some of these rounds close. The money continues to expand for Monte, I suppose. So it's a little bit of a shame, but yeah, there's been a good number of frags coming around for the FORZE boys.
Yeah, I guess the positive note is all that thankfully we do see FORZE kind of back into a buy now. This is kind of what it's all about. The main thing for them is continue pushing the agenda a little bit. They've got to now start to, in a similar vein to what we've seen once before, snowball. Wrestle, nice angle. Oh, but he's getting spammed down. Plays anti, he still will die.
Nasty. Very nasty indeed. Great start coming through for Monte then. Tinner. Spot for him here, but he can't find the head. Oh, so frustrating. So very frustrating. 4 versus 2. And Monte have the run of the mill from this point on.
What now as well, right? For like Shalfi and Gokushima, you can even probably say the saving wouldn't be the worst call, but Shalfi did a lot of damage. He's tagged the first, killed the second, but Gokushima had to hit one of those. Unfortunately, Shalfi, this feels impossible, and it is. Krasnal will see him off, and Monte will tie up this game. Now we're in a completely different scenario. Monte are running away with things, rolling with the punches, as we know they can do so damn well. This is kind of Monte in their prime. Like you said, they're a side who can snowball so effectively, and we're seeing just it in all its glory right now. And this is where it gets quite worrying as well, because the FORZE, they can't allow this sort of thing to happen. When you look at a T-side of Mirage right now, Monte are a side that is so scary. Nice start for Waro. Brilliant work in the penultimate round of this half.
Decent nade damage there. Oh, toes spotted, but Shalfi's just a tad too late, isn't he, to find that frag, unfortunately. The spam to find Crad. Nice deagle from Resalt, though. Maybe we are back on. Shot lands, not in the head, though. 4 versus 2, probably a hold of the M4 for Shalfi in particular.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like the worst decision, really, if Shalfi can hold on to it. Still feels like a slightly big ask, though, but we'll see. Down. Oh, questionable. Maybe do Monte on here. Have they got anything in the locker to go finding a couple of frags? I don't know. I don't think they're really going to be all too close to the action. Tina might get an opportunity potentially. He's in a bit of a rough angle as things go, but yeah, we'll see. I'm going to go off nonetheless. And Monte going to find themselves in a very good position in the grand scheme of things. Now starting to really rock and roll the punches. Very good run of form from the SDR. Why might I say? Sees off Tina. Yes, that will be that. 6 guaranteed for Monte the way they're playing. More could be found here. They are on an immaculate run of form in true Monte fashion. I think once again, similar to what we saw maybe at times on Nuke, actually in both halves. Can't let this one slip away from them.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a little. It's difficult. I think Monte's showing why they are, at the very least, towards the top end of like the tier 2 space online. Right, we're looking at numbers being a bit inflated right now, but HLTV wise, it says they're tier 1, let's say, but they definitely are a contender to win this season of ECL, and that much is being proved. Not so much in this round though. They're going real fast. FORZE not going to have the wool pulled over their eyes that easily. Just Mr. Warrow remaining. He's got no bomb. No friends, and now no head. 6-6 at the turn of the half. Again, competition is what we wanted. Again, another turnaround from Monte. We're looking at one of these teams to pick up the momentum in the early stages of that second half. Stick around, and we'll be there very soon. Welcome back in, folks. We are continuing on with the final half of the day. FORZE versus Monte. We said it was a real important game in that Group A side of things, and it seems to be living up to that hype, I suppose, especially here on the final map with how close it is. Yeah, very much looking forward to continuing things on here between these two teams, but will they be separated in the end? Will we be after another overtime? What are you thinking now?
I think right now, it kind of feels like Monty still, for me, have the advantage. Just, again, it comes down to the buy rounds, right? They've just been a little bit more prevalent in my mind. Enough, but a good pistol could be something. Yeah, my God. Shalfie really playing this food there to find that kill, but Crescent onto back one of his own.
What a mess. What a mess to kick us off. It leaves the B bomb site very vulnerable, though. I suppose they spot that one player out in the connector and, you know, as best they can, it leaves B very vulnerable. So the plan works, although it was a very laboured frag. The plan does work. Gokushima goes completely overlooked with how deep he is. Maybe a little silly from STY. All the same, retake him full swing here. Bro instantly traded. DemQ has taken a headshot, I believe, in the interim. Looking good. FORZE will win it. That might be the springboard that they so desperately require.
Not bad. Okay, so pretty interesting position to be in where for now for FORZE, DemQ's got the pistol, something they've done, I mean, time upon time, it kind of feels like the bulk of the pistols have gone the way of FORZE. Again, giving them that stark advantage just to kickstart things here in this map. Monte always feel like they're making life a little bit harder for themselves than potentially it needs to be. A prime example of it, but they are going to go towards a force buy. Not sure whether I'm a huge fan of it. Bro doesn't spot the cross either.
Molotov goes down. That should, in theory, deal with the boost, but I think it's gone a bit deeper. Oh, team nade. That's awkward. Oh, this B-bomb site looks so well defended now, doesn't it? They really are going to have to pick up the pace. Monte in with a pretty good chance, I would say. The weaponry is the thing that's letting them down at the moment. And indeed, Crad will fly in for the big double. Numbers-wise, they were good, but yeah, weaponry-wise, and maybe setup-wise, with how fast it all happened, they were let down.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. I think it's safe to say this one pretty much chalked up already. Demka, anything in locker for him would be nice, and there is one. A little bit of a quiet start to the game, Demka, so kind of take anything you can get to get the confidence going. All in all, find ourselves once again at a pretty decent or a pretty interesting crossroads. For Monte, these force buys have never really, bar one time, ended up being positive or good. It kind of feels like another example of it. It always leaves them at quite a stark disadvantage. Is for so much space to work with just because of the lack of success from them. I think now as well, another kind of example of it, of course, you go here around the Galil. It should be 9-6, which is starting to close down on the old finish line.
Love the entry. Looking good here, isn't it, right? Another couple of easy kills for the FORZE side of things, making this look very simple on the T side. And it will actually force Monte to save things out, particularly the players with armor, right? Might as well take that into the next round. So a 9th round on the board for FORZE. Only a couple rifles in it then.
Game is heating up. I think for Monte, they're in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. I gotta say, I'm very worried at the moment. Just in the sense that Monte not giving themselves a lot of time to work with. Let's see. Onto that was already that lower buy. I don't think they have the room to work with some AWP. I'm just thinking about Demka, but I don't think even he would have that space to work with. Regardless, bomb goes off. 9th for FORZE. This is where those 4 spies, you do question them. It allows your opponent to snowball a little bit. They are looking pretty good. So, 4 buy back in. They actually will have the money to work going into an AWP. Moro is only going to have that half armor to work with, which traditionally is not the worst thing in the world coming against the T-Sub, but they know there's Galil's in play. There's Warrior, maybe a tad there. But yeah, overall, FORZE on the track, putting up a very decent little performance right now.
Oh my goodness, super aggressive from Waro there. And it looked like that bullet was on, but apparently not. I do like this as well. He shows his presence, and then he's quickly going to rotate around towards A. Oh, this is such a weird little situation from FORZE. They send one man in, aggressive. Bro has found another frag out towards middle. Shalfie with the longest spray down you've ever seen. And while he's spraying, all his teammates are falling around him. He's all alone. No bomb. And only an M4 to work with, right? So it really doesn't feel like it'll be enough. That was quite a clean frag. A couple more of those, and maybe we start to believe in him.
Yeah, I don't know. It still feels like this is so chalked, isn't it? Because got to try and get the bomb. A known quantity as well. He's been heard. And he probably will be dropped from behind in just a second. And he will. Krasnov sees him off. Even if he wasn't, if he made his way in towards T-spawn, the AWP was ready to take that fight. Monte. Get on to back on the 4x. This is something that Monte has done time and time again. Still doesn't feel pretty, but it's better than nothing. Go within 2. FORZE have some money to speak of. This is actually beautiful, though. I think Tinner... Oh, he's having an AK job. I was going to say, I wasn't sure about his drops, but he's actually all right. Got Kashima T-side AWPing. Not always the easiest. See what he can do with it as well as he heads over towards mid. It's going to be SDY and Bro trying to take first contact. Avoiding the boost here. This is really nice because Dokashima's dead. They know Sharpie's in that direction too.
Bro. Pretty low. SDY also left a little low. They could get back in here on the FORZE side of things. They made a lot of noise in the connector, so we'll definitely know there's a guy pushed up there. SDY trying to play sneaky like. These smokes last so very long. So much tension created behind the crack to move in. Still loses out on the fight. The trade also is very unclean. Just result left. Not ready for DemQ hidden in at default. 9-8. Monte mounting yet another little mini comeback.
Yeah. Okay, this is Prime Monte. Right now, to be honest, again, a similar story that we've seen time and time again, just about what they're like and how much more prevalent they are when it comes in towards those full buys. For the vast majority of this series, the bulk of the full buys have gone the way of Monte, especially over towards Anubis, but even in the map in which they lost out on Nuke, it's a similar storyline. So, deep they're going to come over, worried to find the opener. Just pistols for FORZE. A bomb plant will be lovely, and I might actually get given that luxury.
It was close for a second, wasn't it? But the rotations come around fast enough. Unable to do any damage, let alone a frag, right? I think we needed them to get a kill, mix things up, just make Monte freeze a bit, but doesn't happen. All the same, it was a throwaway round anyway. Bomb plant is a bonus there, to be honest. FORZE will have a clean buy into this one. So it's all about backing things up. 9-9. Pressure starting to mount. Yeah, another close game, similar to that first map, man. It really has come all the way down to the wire on these more open maps, as it were.
Early Utah again, but this time FORZE already out in towards mid. Monte will know about this. He comes through and Brad does take a tag, a double in fact. But you have that space to work with. Monte now know they've completely relinquished all of that mid control.
Waro. creeping round here. This smoke is not quite good enough to deal with him, actually, so they do have to be careful. Result seems to be playing things safe. Meanwhile, has just walked up the connector. Bro goes down in window. Oh, they are overwhelmed on the A-bomb site. Yeah, really caught unawares. Crad coming from behind should be enough to get this one done. SDY knows that he has to move forward. It's his only real option, but again, one kill is not enough. Remaining two will save, but FORZE retake the lead.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. It still feels slightly uncomfortable right now, but at the very least, that comes off the back of a very good mid-take coming through. It's pretty simple in kind of the playstyle that FORZE go for. And Monte didn't really have an answer for it. The second they lost that mid-control, knew they kind of couldn't efficiently fight it. They just lose control of the game itself. So, nice easy save call. Big thing, of course, just Warwick keeping all the AWP. Of course, the AUG in the hands of Krasnal. Similar thing. Make sure they have them saved over. They have money left in reserves. It's not the end of the world just yet. We're getting us into the, kind of the dying embers of this game. They do have to start being careful. FORZE, the first side to crack double digits. It is now getting to a point of asking questions of Monte. Surprised we haven't really seen too many pauses out of either side, really. Especially considering how close this game has been. Monte maybe wouldn't even be the worst call to pause here. Like the LMBT. Have a little conversation, but doesn't seem to be the case. So back into a buy. Like we said, money in reserves, no issues. And they've even got some left over if they want to buy in towards the next. So they've got a few in concession. Same can't really be said out of FORZE just yet. Be the reserves for one more round. If they were to lose this and the Monte were able to tie it up 10 apiece, looks like Palace Dive might be the play.
Thank you. That first line of defense here with the AUG. Lovely frag from him. Loses his teammate, though. They're going to know where he's at. A little bit of a smoke for them to work with. Result trying to play the anti-flash. And DemQ for another 2 kills. What a round from him. He spurred everyone forwards. Look at him go. The 4K comes in, keeping Monte definitely in this game, keeping the hopes of victory alive.
Yeah, really well played from DemQ, especially considering he kind of started off this game 0-6 at one point. He was struggling to get off the board. And now when it's coming towards the later stages, he's picking up that form. He's matching the rest of the team too. Sick to see. FORZE just had no answer. None at all. Unfortunately for FORZE, not only no answer that round, no real strong buy in this one. Triple AK 1 Galil, 1 Tech 9, and relatively limited utility. No abilities kind of double pump fake and execute or sell a ruse elsewhere. Even taking mid control risks them not being able to have a strong post spawn. Crad will get out early. On towards the site, but it's Warren right for the first.
Looking good. Shalfie just trying to spam away and find somebody he reckons is really a player at stairs. It's not the case. And Q gets above the smoke, looking good, traded out, but created the space for Kras now. Shalfie dealt with handily. 11-10. Monte have refound some energy here. FORZE are maybe starting to lose it.
FORZE look like a shadow of their former selves in these full buys. Just don't have anything to offer up, anything to work with. Oh, I'm going to see them finally call for their first pause. Better late than never, but it has allowed Monte up to an 11th. They more or less get gifted a 12th alongside a 2. So right now, it kind of feels like FORZE are playing for OT. I don't think we'll see a FORZE buy here. It doesn't feel warranted. It doesn't feel like a good decision at all. FORZE buying here more or less feels like giving up the game. So playing for OT is sort of the only option that FORZE have on the table, really. A bomb plant would be lovely. Just add a little bit of extra cash in their pockets heading into what potentially could be that final round. Monte in a prime position to close out this map, this series in their favor. On track for finishing the groups flawlessly too, which would be sick for them.
Crad charging forwards on this B250. And they will cross around. There's so much presence from CT side. They're so ready for this mid-run. Even then, they're going to lose a couple of players, but I don't think it matters too much in their minds. They will be winning 13-10, so money is less of an issue for a couple of rounds, actually. Really solid stuff. But this is it. FORZE, new look. Some very new blood in the form of Gokushima. Some slightly new but also used blood in the form of Crad. What can they do? What can they put together? The lack of Jerry, of course, is the big thing, right? This is where he would be taking the timeouts and getting everybody in the right mindset going into the most important rounds of the series so far. And, of course, this Group A side of things to stay in the higher bracket contention. Nice pickup to come through. Gokushima takes out SDY, and that is a fantastic way to kick things off.
Yeah, nice. You know, they've gone for that boost a couple of times, and they've always failed. That time it comes off, and it couldn't have been a better... A work. Nice play in the smoke there by Crad. Here's a little sound. He uses it to his advantage. Nicely done. Maybe life's still left in this game.
Possible. Very, very possible. Waro creeping around. Krasnal through the smoke is going to find one and do damage to another. They are as yet to cross into the bomb side. They've got to get round the AWP, but Waro doesn't stick around on that fire. He gives them the space. Molotov goes down to buy a bit more time. Bomb as yet to be planted. It's actually in an awkward spot. They have to retrieve it. They do manage to get it. Get that plant through. So, 3 versus 3 retake. Nice nade, but a nice find from Gokushima. Really well read. As soon as he saw that nade come out, he knows where it has come from. Bro, creeping forward, but gets timed on as he jumps up to the bench. Krasnal all alone. First netted. Couple more to go. Waiting for a flank that is never going to come, my friend. Time is working against him here, and I think he may well now have chosen to save, I think, with no one coming in from behind. At the very least, they're not going to give him the option to go for this. He goes down to the AWP, but he was a dead man.
All the rounds of regulation needed in our map number 3. We said this was going to be a good decider as well. It plays into the strengths of both of these two sides, and here's a prime example of it. Comes towards the fights. Can you get your individuals activated in that round? It's Gokushima, a masterclass from him. All 24 needed here. Map number 3. All back in play for Waro, of course. Thankfully, Monte did have an extra cash, and that's what having that all alive can do. Tinner dropped immediately.
Another player trapped on the ramp as well, right? Warriors watching.
Did he's known that? That's the only thing.
I don't think so, but like, timing is everything here.
Yeah.
And Warriors kind of watching for it, knows that maybe there is someone in towards ramp just with the sense of timing that he has.
Timing play here, either waiting for something to offer up. I think the FORZE now going to have to start getting proactive at some point. Here's an example of where they could. Crad, he's lucky to stay alive, but he gets a kill and falls away.
Looking good. Keeping themselves alive here. But we'll see. Thank you. Solid hold. We'll get it done. That is a big, big frag for Monte, man. And so much information going to come off the back of it. I love the immediate push in towards ramp, right? Just starts to confirm that, oh, it's probably towards B. Shalfie keeps himself together, though. Big frag from him. Krasnal down below. Blinded up, but a free one onto Crad. No real position to trade. It's just going to be down to Gokushima to save the game here. Take us to the overtime. There's only 10 seconds. Krasnal can just play for the time, to be honest. Keep him preoccupied or even take him down for good measure. 13-11, as close as it comes in the new form of MR12. That is heartbreak for FORZE, but Monte, the expectant winners of this series this evening, will indeed take it over the line.
Yeah, really good game overall. I think, for Monte, they do at times make life hard for themselves. We've kind of seen for them going in for these kind of force buys when they lose the pistol, and it always leaves them going into these pretty hefty deficits. 5-0 down, they went on Nuke, 5-1 down, they went on Mirage. You get worried for them at times, but like we've been saying throughout the entirety of the series, when it comes towards the full buy rounds, they really, for the bulk of the action, was only one team competing. Monte just looked like the more well-rounded side. Monte showing why they are ranked number 8 in the world right now. Very, very well played, calm and composed right towards the very end, and that's what it's all about. A very solid performance. Waro leader from the front, the AWP IGL showing what he's all about. He had a very solid map number 1, 32 kills from Run and saying, then heading over in towards Anubis with more of the same. Top frag both map 1, map 2, not quite map number 3, but he was still up in contention. It was a really, really good showing. But I think those are really positive signs of towards FORZE. FORZE are of a side who, for me, haven't really looked the same since they kind of lost Jerry. They've looked quite rough around the edges. But the new blood injected in towards his team, I say new with Crab, but then, of course, new with Gokashima, looks really good. He had a very solid debut and shows that he does kind of deserve to be hanging up here with some of the best. So for FORZE, while it is a loss, I think they can take a lot away from that level of a game.
Yeah, and again, as we talked about, Monte at the moment, number 8 in the world, right? Like, they're a team that are looking pretty scary, even at the top level. They're a team that you have to be very careful of if you are a FaZe of the world or a Liquid of the world, that kind of thing. So, yeah, really, really interesting to see what this Monte team is going to be able to do. And as we have talked about a couple of times, should be within top 4 finish, I would say, of this season of ECL quite easily. And if not, kind of winning it, right? There's a few teams like that, but it does depend in the online and the CS2 and all that. So we're kind of being a bit tentative about putting our money where our mouth is in terms of predictions of who's going to be a winner. But all the same, I think Monte definitely in Group A, let's say. They should top Group A for sure. And I think that is what's going to end up happening now that they've picked up this victory here.
100%. I think we might have some standings to bring you as well, just to kind of see where things pan out at the end of that one. As we said, for Monte, this is a kind of a push for them to see out Group A in a positive note. 5-0 they find themselves now, so pretty comfortably achieved, it is said to say. FORZE now dropped 3 and 2. It's not the end of the world for them, but of course, FORZE do have to start being quite wary because Paravision and Team Space are lurking, waiting to see whether they can match it. And then, of course, there would potentially be a little bit of a fight on the way out for that one to kind of see. And, of course, they're playing right now, in fact, Paravision and Team Space. Just to update on that game, it's gone to Decider. It's currently 5-2 to Paravision on that one. They had OT in double OT, in fact, in map number 2. So, yeah, that is gone to Decider. So, winner of that then also matches and goes 3 and 2. And then I think it comes down to head-to-head about who finishes second overall. I don't know if normally it's head-to-head over round differential these days. That's what people seem to prefer. So I think that'll be probably the case. But yeah, I mean, that one could really swing either way. Like we said, Team Space coming in towards the fray and Paravision too. They're kind of two of the newer teams in ESL. ECL are both looking very, very good in their own regard. For your debut seasons, not bad to be in potential for going second.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I would say so. I think we've got some good stuff panning out in the groups, and yeah, some of the new blood really spurred forward, I think, by the fact that it is CS2. Everything's fresh. Everything is, there are gaps opening up, whether it's top-level players not performing as well or Simple stepping away is kind of the big one at the moment, et cetera, et cetera. I think there's a lot of head-turning kind of things going on, and that's going to give you the confidence to just kind of go for it, play your own game, and you never know what you might be capable of. All the same, folks, on that note, that is going to be us for this evening. Nao and I will be back tomorrow with more Counter-Strike action. And of course, there is NA going on a little bit later if you are indeed interested. But for us, we'll be back tomorrow around 7 o'clock Central European. So make sure that you are here for that pre-show ready for tomorrow's game. All the same, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.
love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.